Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for tuning in live with us. If you stayed up late like Nico and I both did to watch the end of Game 3 between the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche, I will just throw in there because it made me feel good, featuring the return of Gabriel Landeskog, captain, who makes his triumphant return after over 1,000 days off of the ice. But far end of the bench, Jimmy Pilato, Nico Bryant here. And we're going to talk about that game. We recorded a segment talking about the NBA playoffs last night, so we're not going to leave anybody hanging that way. We talked about the Nuggets, pretty much all the series so far. And we had our good friend Daren Briare from the Fadeaway Sports podcast. That will be coming up once we're done talking about this game and some of the other NHL series that have been going on. And this is the third season in a row that we get to do these playoff streams. So it's not like this is new territory for the two of us, but man, that was rough. Let's just start it off there. That was not a fun one to stay up for. How are you feeling after that?
Not a fun last couple games. Obviously, the Nugs on Monday night, and then the Avs tonight. It was two tough ones. Two games that obviously could have been won by both teams. Obviously, both teams had the chances to win, and it's just very frustrating because you thought this team was different, and then things like that happen. It's like when you lead for 90 minutes through three games, and the opposing team is leading for a total of 1 minute of ice time, and you're down 2-1. And that's just the way the series has gone. It seems that Dallas makes the plays at the end of the game and to keep scratching, clawing, and fighting, and we don't. And here's the result of being down 2-1 now.
Yeah, I mean, starting from the goaltending, let's talk about both goaltenders because Mackenzie Blackwood and Jake Ottinger both pretty much the entire series have been very good. The score 5-1 in game one does not reflect how close that game was, and one of those goals was an empty net, and I think two of them, the Dallas Stars defense totally fell asleep, kind of like the one that we got in game 3. But Jake Ottinger has proven why he was the leading goaltender for Team USA. He'll be the goaltender between the pipes next winter in the Olympics in Italy. But the Dallas Stars are just right now not making huge mistakes throughout the first two periods, letting Ottinger keep them in these games, keeping it close. And then the third period, they just flat out outplayed the Colorado Avalanche in both games. Outside of game one and games 2 and 3, the third period belonged to the Dallas Stars. Today looked a little bit better with the pressure that the Avs were able to get, but who scores in the big moments? Not the Colorado Avalanche right now. Dallas Stars. They got Jacob Marchment, and I don't even remember the guy who scored the overtime winner. I'd rather forget his name. It's just we're wasting such good goaltending performances. It's weird to come on these shows and not have to sit here and start off with, well, if your goaltender lets in 4 softies, it's really hard to win in the playoffs. Your goaltender's let in like a total of 5 goals, and one of them he didn't have a stick.
Yeah, I mean, like Blackwood has been the solution. He's not been the problem, and frankly, he's the reason why we've made it to 2 overtimes and not had 2 regulation losses. And look, it's just very frustrating because when you watch the production from everybody there, it's like Landy stepping back in the lineup. You don't expect that from him. Obviously, you expect him just to be the leader out there, try to make some rough plays up, which he did at the beginning of the game. He absolutely did, and that's what you expect from him, right?
He played well. I mean, I would say he was probably fourth or fifth best forward of this.
He was more effective than some guys that are top liners on this team. I'm looking specifically at Jonathan Drouin, who has been a no-show thus far in the playoffs and turning over the puck consistently.
They were swapped on each other's lines because Landy was out there with Mac and Nietzsche's to start the game because it was a huge moment. And then they flopped him back where they have been.
Drouin has been an absolute headache, obviously an headache. And that second line looked pretty good tonight, obviously. I think Nelson, Val, and Lecky has that pair.
I really liked 2 and 3. Coyle and Landy playing on the same line together. Beautiful.
It works perfectly, and you throw LOC in there too. Like the third and second and third line were not the problem tonight. It was more producive, long-term production when you have the best player on the ice in Nathan MacKinnon out there. Is because all the eyes go to Nathan MacKinnon. Well, when they can start double teaming Nathan MacKinnon because they don't have any trust or have any faith that Drouin or Natchez can put one in the back of the net or defenders to keep the puck in the zone, it's just going to be a nightmare situation. It's like you said, you had 4 minutes. 4 minutes of penalty time to end that third period going into overtime. And you didn't get into the zone in that overtime period until 30 seconds left.
4 shots on goal in a
4 shots on goal throughout the whole
double minor
game.
4-minute penalty where the guy has to stay in the box.
It's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating because it's just like we can't enter the zone. A minute and a half, 2 minutes at minimum of zone time, and we're looking at 2-1 Avs. Plain and simple, right? We're looking at 2-1 Avs. Instead, you get 30 seconds of zone time at the end of it, where you only get 1 shot off basically in that overtime with a half decent look, which was Drew up the middle that sent it wide above the goalpost. It's just frustrating because it's like big. I saw as I was because I was listening to the Avs game on the way back home from the Nuggets game on Monday night after the Avs played, and obviously the overtime and listening to McGahee, and I thought this statistic was actually pretty telling. It's like there's only 2 guys on this Avalanche roster have scored overtime goals in the playoffs. There are only 2 players on this roster for the Colorado Avalanche that have scored playoff winning overtime goals. Nathan MacKinnon and Josh Manson. That's pretty
Those
telling.
are the only 2 that will shoot it anytime they get it on their stick. Everybody else is looking to make some sort of magnificent pass. They're all looking for assists. Nobody's looking for goals. We got 2 guys that'll shoot the puck consistently right now. 3, because Val, the Russians will shoot. They'll take their shots. So Val is not
I
part
thought
of that
was
problem.
very good tonight. I thought he obviously his forechecking was very good tonight. He wasn't very effective in the power play, obviously, but I thought he played very well tonight. Like I said, I look at guys like Drew, I look at guys like Lucky, who was nowhere to be seen today. I look at guys
McKinnon turning. I know that the majority of the attention was on McKinnon. McKinnon needs to be told that this was a shitty performance. Like he was not the best player on the ice tonight. No, he wasn't. And they continued to force feed him, so that perpetuated the issue.
Force feed him, they could double team. I literally saw it in that overtime period. That was what led to the goal, right? We had the puck in our zone. They double team Mac on the boards there. They get the puck out. One bad turn later, Marchman is 1-on-1 down the edge, gets a pass upfield, or sorry, I don't even know who was 20. I can't remember who the guy who was going down the ice, but Mikko poked away from Mac, got down the ice, sent it back, Marchman 1-on-0 with the goal. It's very frustrating because for him, frankly, like you said, last couple of years, it's been like 4GF. Fuck, he make a save. Blackwood is making save after save after save after save. That overtime save on Blackwell, the start right in the middle of that start the overtime period, right in the middle of the man up situation. I'm just like, holy crap! Why can't we just capitalize on this at all? It's like not even keeping the puck in the zone is the most frustrating thing. And it's all kudos to Dallas because Dallas has done a great job of defending the Avalanche of entering the zone. And there's a very obvious – the Avs enter the zone the most obvious way possible. They run down the fucking middle of the ice with one of McKinnon, McCarr, or Natchez because they have speed and they can just get him go. And what they're doing is they're doubling the middle of the ice and saying, all right, try to run through 2 guys. And you're not going to be able to run through 2 guys. When you can't run through 2 guys, the puck is going to bounce around. Then we send it back the other way. That's the most frustrating part. It's just like you have to change something up, get some more momentum, try to figure something else out. And the power play is absolutely horrid right now for the Avs. And frankly, it's not even horrid to the point where when you're in the zone of the production, because I think the production is very good when you get in the zone, it's staying in the zone. That's the biggest problem right now. That you are, like I said, once you get into the setup, right, we're getting open shots. Like that play where they pass up a Drew, and that's got to be on net, right? It's got to be on net, and that's a great look. It's a great look. You had great looks when you're in the zone. But you took too much time of staying in the zone and not getting good shots off that turned to turnovers and went down the ice, and that's what bit you in the ass in the end of this game.
It's a saying that's been going around a lot in sports, and it used to be said when we would have – I mean, I'm pretty sure Logan probably said it when we had Milo or something, but when you have a generational player, like the Lions always said it about Barry Sanders, everybody was looking to Barry every single week to make something special happen so that they had a chance to win. You just have a lot of guys right now looking at 29, and they're like, you guys make the play. We can't make the play. That's bullshit. Right now, you guys have way more opportunities to make plays than those 2 have at all. They are hounding them because they know exactly. I want the playoff format to stay the same because if I need to beat the Stars every year in the playoffs, I'd rather it be early on so that we have that ability. But they know how to play us. DeBoer
My,
knows
my,
how to beat us, and they're playing
my
it to
biggest
perfection, and nobody's making the adjustments that are needed.
my biggest problem is obviously there's no playoff experience with the guys you brought in. Right, Natchez probably has the most experience with the Canes, but the Canes have never made it to the conference final. Right, Jerwin has playoff experience with the Avs only. Brock Nelson, the Islanders have sniffed the playoffs once in his 8-year career there. Right, these guys don't have long playoff experience, so when the going gets tough, it's like, all right, Mac, all right, Kale, fucking bail us out, and that's the worst way to look at it. And like I said, it's just frustrating because, like I said, when you have 90 plus minutes of a lead through 3 games, and the other team has led for 1 minute plus, less than 75 seconds of time on the ice, and you're down 2-1. It's just very frustrating. It's a backbreaker, especially in a game where you should have felt like you should have came out and fired away. Because with everything that circled around Landy coming back and all this, when we got game 1, we were like, perfect. Even if we lose game 2, it's fine. We come home, Landy's back on the ice. Everyone should be flying around. Everyone should be head on fire and have an extra set of motivation. And it just wasn't there tonight.
No, there was no extra motivation, and the Stars set the tone of the game from the first period. They were throwing heavy checks. We responded a couple of times, and that's not the game that we need to play. But that was the exact tone that the rest of the game kind of held out. Even with the 1-goal lead, you never feel safe in the playoffs. And it didn't feel safe tonight because of everything. Every single time we went through center ice, unless somebody was able to carry it all the way through, it was getting tipped. It was getting knocked back. I can't count the number of times that we were trying to pass it back once we did enter the offensive zone, and we threw it back over our own blue line. Like you're just constantly I see it a lot in when guys are in situations that they aren't used to, but you're making it so much harder on yourself. You're sitting there, you're hesitating, and you're chasing the game. That's what they did. They got the 1-goal lead and they chased the rest of the game.
Frankly,
Same thing that they did in game 2.
And frankly, we were lucky to get that 1 goal because frankly, it was a very lucky misplacement of defensively from Dallas that just got Val 1-on-1 with the goalie. Right, it was a miscue defensively, and besides that, the rest of the game you're playing trail. It felt like when Dallas got in the zone, they were threatening. When it felt like we were getting in the zone, we were struggling to get a good shot, and that's just the worst feeling about it. It's like we have the talent, but frankly, Dallas is just showing why they're so damn good and why they have such deep lines up front. Because like I said, they have 9 guys. Three lines of forwards that are all just willing to put the puck on the net and absolutely strong when they enter the zone. Right now, I can only say that about probably 4 guys of the top 9 guys on our roster.
I'm not even talking about high danger scoring chances, but I would love to see you guys just throwing the puck deep towards the goal line, even if it's not at the cage, just getting it down there. We have guys big enough. We have to start playing that way. There has to be some level of urgency that just I don't know why it's not there. And I know that they take on the personality of their head coach. And it's very well stated. If you're a longtime listener of this show, I've called for Joe Sakic's job and Jared Bednar's job, both at the same time. And they went on to win Stanley Cups. But right now it just feels like they need some sort of extra oomph. And they're not going to get it from
it was there. 92 step back in the lineup. What the fuck else? What oomph are you going to get?
Nobody. Well, here's the thing. All your humans on the ice played worse.
Yeah, that's the frustration. Is like, where the fuck?
But then you need a coach to be able to stand up. We talked about coaching when you guys hear about our NBA segment too. If you got 5 guys standing up on the sideline, that's bad. When you got nobody standing up on the bench, nobody spouting out anything, nobody giving out any advice, it leaves you in a pretty similar situation. You can't be all or nothing. You got to find a balance. You're a championship pedigree organization. This isn't shit we got to figure out again.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the series is far from over, obviously, but game 4 is obviously a must-win now. Like I said, you took home ice, and they got it right back. So how will we respond in game 4? Obviously, 2 overtime losses. If you want to get in these overtime games, you're going to falter because that's just not the way we play. Right. Obviously, the way we played game 1 is the more of a style the Avs play up and down the ice, where they're trying to win a 5-4 game as opposed to a fucking 1-0 game. Obviously, when like I said, the Dallas Stars specifically want to play 2-1, 1-0 hockey games. Plain and simple. The Colorado Avalanche want to play a 4-3, 4-2 game where they're up and down the ice and pucks are just flying around. Right. Yeah. Dallas is better when things are slowed down. Ottinger is getting confidence, and they can just make dirty plays, not dirty plays as in like bad plays, but like dirty plays as in like getting a shot tipped on from the top center and getting it tipped in by Jamie Benn, right? Getting the dirty plays in the boards, getting up the ice and passing it backwards so it's a beautiful shot off the side, right? Those are the dirty plays that Dallas consistently does better than anybody. Right? They play the dirty. Like I said, dirty is a bad word. I use dirty in the same term as like dirty boxing.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have a lot of fight fans. It's the same.
Exactly.
You're up against
dirty boxing.
It's knees and it's elbows and it's anything
that
I can hit you with.
Exactly. It's very legal, and they do it so well that's why they're so good at it. Right? Because they have the talent to do it. And when they body you, they make the ugly plays that turn into goals. That's why they're this good and why they're one of the best teams in hockey.
Think to that Conor McGregor Donald Cerrone fight when he's checking him with his shoulder when they're standing in the clinch. You just got to be willing to. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't be at this point. You got to be willing to swing with everything you got. Take as many shots as you can. What do you have to lose? Like if you throw a whole bunch of pucks out there and give up a couple of odd man rushes, you don't have Alexander Georgiev back there. You can maybe get bailed out in a couple situations. Now, don't give up 15 of those sudden change situations, but this is a team. We Rocky 3, I know it's always Rocky, but Rocky 3, you can't sit there and swing with Clubber Lang. You're not going to knock him out. He hits harder than you do. He put you down before you put him down. You got to be fast. You got to hit him and get in his head and speed bag and punch and punch and punch. Like we have, I was sitting there thinking about it as I was watching the game. Logan O'Connor, Arturi Lehkonen are not guys that are there to bully the other side. Those are guys that you knock them down so many times and they just keep popping back up and they keep staying in the play and they keep getting back on the track. You're not getting in their head. And that's the psychological warfare that I would like to start seeing.
I'm not going to say LOC because I think he's been one of the better players for this team.
No, he's playing great. That's his role right now is they got to knock him. He's put out there by Jared Bednar to take as much of the punishment as possible because he's going to be able to do it and still make plays. And Dallas is going to get tired of running him over at some point, or they're going to run him over one time too many, and there's going to be another opening there. But we have more guys that need to start playing with that attitude. That's a choice that's being made, and not many people are making that choice.
And like I said, maybe it's Coyle moving up in the lines and giving someone else the 3C. But like there's obviously a couple guys in the top 6 that are just not physically there and not ready for the big time hockey. And that's the most frustrating thing.
What else do we got? Let's talk a little bit looking ahead to game 4 because we'll be back on Saturday before game 4. So I guess what do we want to wrap up this game with, and then we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other playoff series before we get into the rest of the segment, the rest of the show that we had planned out.
I mean, like it's start early and start often. Like when I saw obviously the Val goal early in the game, I thought, okay, these guys are going to get up and down the ice. This is how we're going to play today, right? And then you just go put an absolute dud out there for 2.5 periods. And frankly, 2.5 periods, you can even extend that to 3 periods if you could in overtime as well. Like you need to come out firing and just throw the first couple punches because you cannot just sit back and take it at this point. Because when you're down 2-1 in a series that you've led for majority of the fucking game, or majority of the series, excuse me, you need to go out and you need to make sure that you just keep throwing. Right? You can't just be sit on a 1-goal lead and be happy with it. You have to keep firing. You have to keep putting pressure. You have to keep pushing and make their lives as miserable. Make Ottinger's life as miserable as possible. Because, like I said, he was sitting there during that 4 minutes of penalty time through the third period into overtime and didn't face a shot until 30 seconds left. Right? You have to continue the pressure. You have to figure out this power play because power play is not good enough.
Definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and expecting the same result. So I hope we see a different game plan. I hope there's some shift in the cards. I feel like something's got to change, and hopefully we see that. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back on Saturday after getting ready for those games. Looking around elsewhere in the playoffs, the Capitals, they were the game right before us. They get another big win. They continue to hold serve in their series against Montreal. Big story out of that series, especially this game. Laine did not get, or it's Laine or Luc Dubois that's in Montreal now. I can't. It's Laine.
Laine.
Laine did not come onto the ice in the third period. He played, I think, a total of 10 minutes between periods 1 and 2. Did not get put out there by St. Louis for the third period for the Habs. Is there a chance? Because I know people were trying to talk about there possibly being an upset with the way that Washington finished their season. Do you see an upset brewing, or is that probably more of just like they had a big emotional release after Ovi got the goal record. It seems like they were just kind of biding their time, and now they're proving why they were the 1 seed.
I mean, it's not just the offensive offensive firepower for Capitals and how good or how bad Montreal has been with producing goals, but Montreal is very young, right? They're very, very young. It's an entirely different game. But the difference so far has been Logan Thompson versus Montembeault. Logan Thompson has been absolutely stellar through 2 games. What I saw in the highlights showing game 2 today, I was just seeing him stay on his head and consistently after goal, after shot, making saves. And Montreal has no belief in Montembeault right now. I don't know if Carey Price is going to walk through those doors anytime soon, but frankly, that's where the edge goes to Washington here. And when you have a young team like Montreal who's relying on Cole Caulfield and relying on Laine, who's obviously who's not been playing very well, it's like who's going to step up as a young guy on this team? And right now they don't have the answers. When you look at Washington, when you have stellar goaltending, Logan Thompson, you obviously have Ovi, you have Dylan Strong playing very well, good hockey too. Like Washington is going to walk away with this. I think it's either A gentleman's sweep or B it's going to be in 4. Montreal, everyone was counting on them, and they were not giving enough love to Logan Thompson in the playoff performer he is. And we saw how good of a playoff performer he was Vegas all those years, right? He is that good, and some goalies step up when the brights shine, some don't. And Logan Thompson is one of those guys.
He's played incredible and had a couple big stops to save their lead so far in that series. Elsewhere in the East, not much competitive edge being brought out there. Hurricanes up 2-0. They beat the Devils in game 2, 3-1. The Maple Leafs also have a 2-0 series lead in the Battle of Ontario. That one went to overtime. The Senators, I feel like they thought they had a better chance, but that Battle of Ontario, do you still think that Toronto is the team to beat in the East? Because I know that's the team that we were kind of all looking towards at the beginning of the playoffs.
I mean, I could even go Carolina now because Carolina, how they've been playing and the home ice advantage with Carolina has been very, very good. And Seikoven, what he's done coming over from Dallas, I think has been absolutely stellar too. And I don't know. I think it's Carolina. I think I throw I threw Toronto in there as well. I still believe in Florida. Like I said, they got Kachuk back on the ice. I think that helps them a lot. But Toronto, it's like Ottawa is a very weird situation. It's similar to Montreal. It's like it's a lot of these guys' first time ever playoff hockey. First time ever. It's been a long drought for both Montreal and Ottawa in the playoffs, frankly, getting a win. So, and you see it, right? You see it. And as much shit as we give Toronto, they played the last 6 years in the first round of playoffs. They may not have won them all, but they've at least had first round experience the last 6 years since the bubble, going back to the bubble. So that's where Toronto has the edge here. And like I said, Nylander has been playing so damn good for this team. It's really been crazy. But when you have production from Domi, you have production for Tavares' old ass, like you're looking at this team, it's like it's still a damn deep team. It's still a damn deep team. The big problem still, and the big circling headache around Toronto still, is Stolarz and why and relying on a goalie that doesn't have a lot of playoff hockey experience. And that's where, like I said, Toronto, there's more than one round of the playoffs, so we'll see. I think the East will not start getting interesting until the second round. I'll be honest with you. I think that's when things start going. I think the only series that I think we'll see a lot of contention is the Battle of Florida with Florida and with Panthers.
Did you see Matthew Tkachuk pull the Kevin Nash?
Yeah, it's wild that he's back on the ice already. But Florida and Tampa Bay is going to be a hell of a series because Tampa has been very, very good this season. Obviously, in Florida, getting fucking Tkachuk back and having Marchand added to already a cup-winning team, man, Florida is very scary. Absolutely very, very scary. And like I said, that's why I am not too high on these East teams in the first round, and I'm like, let's wait until we get to the Final Four in the East and see what these teams are really made of, and then I'll make my prediction of who's coming out of the East because I see Carolina's beating up a bad New Jersey team. Toronto's beating up a bad Ottawa team. Washington's beating up a bad Montreal team. Florida, Tampa Bay, that's probably the toughest battle you have. We got to get to the second round and see what happens.
I mean, we're not getting much better out of the Western Conference besides our series. The only other series where both teams have had a victory is the Minnesota and Vegas series. That one is tied 1-1. The Oilers looking like absolute garbage out there in Los Angeles. It is still no games have been taking place across the border, but LA looks like they're ready to break that 4-year losing streak against Edmonton. And then St. Louis, not really they have nothing to give to the Winnipeg Jets. I know that those games have been close, but it just really shows when they get to the end of the game, kind of the later half of the third period is when that one starts to get out of hand. What else in the West has really surprised you or stood out?
I mean, LA looks like a team to beat right now. I mean, like there's no slight to Edmonds because obviously I don't know why they decided to trot out Stu Skinner again and think that things are going to go well for this team. But LA has really poured it on. I love the contributions they've had from so many depth pieces. Like this roster is so damn deep. You look at Kuzmenkov, you look at Kempe, Kopitar's still out there getting goals. Byfield, who has I think been one of the most underrated guys in the NHL the last couple of years, he's finally getting some love in LA. And look, good old friend Darcy Kemper has outplayed Stu Skinner again. Mm-hmm. I can't remember if it was Stu Skinner that we played in the Cup run. I think they might have had that old
Mike Smith.
Yeah, Mike Smith. Excuse me. Yes. So but Darcy has faced McDavid in the playoffs, has faced Draisaitl in the playoffs. So it's nothing really quite new for him. And look, Edmonton has to blow this shit up. I'm sorry. Like Draisaitl and McDavid, you can shove over money all you want. This defense is not good enough, especially with the goaltending that they're going to produce. Like they should be their first call in the offseason should be to Anaheim and try to go get John Gibson or see if Carey Price is available because you need somebody that has some sort of experience in this league that consistently face tough shots against good teams. And Stu Skinner and Calvin Pickard in the year 2025 is not going to fucking do it.
Goaltending is one of the most important positions. We talk about it every year. It's the most.
If you don't have a good goal, if you don't have a consistent goaltender in the playoffs, you will not make it past the second round.
That's probably going to ring true, and I think the Western Conference will play that out. I'm excited. I know that even if the Avalanche don't bounce back the way that we want them to, I'm still hopeful. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm out on it. I'm excited to see what happens in the second round because Stanley Cup playoffs, it is my favorite time of the year besides football season when we get to watch all of the Stanley Cup playoff hockey. You got anything else before we talk a little bit about Mania and then send it on into Daren and talk about NBA and the NFL draft?
I mean, look, it's I don't know how these two tough series for both the Avs and Nugs, and we'll obviously dive deep into the Nugs here in a second, but with Daren, but like my confidence is out the fucking window. It feels like this could be a short playoff run after a great first game from each team. That I was just like, fuck, here we go. This is going to be a long run possibly for the Avs. Nugs may make it past the first round and get their buttholes lifted open by the Thunder the second round. Like this is going to go well. And then here we are less than a week later and the Avs can't get shots on the power play. And the Nugs are making dumb turnover after dumb turnover and losing games themselves. So it's very frustrating, but like I said, it's a 7-game series. It's far from over. It's 1-1. It's 2-1, right? Things can turn around in the blink of an eye. All it takes is just one game at a time. Just game the next one.
How was that event that you went to in Las Vegas? Was it as good as it looked on TV? I liked the event. I know that there's a lot of people giving it shit and giving them the Sunday night match a whole bunch of shit. And they're like, you're missing the entire point. I get it. I also want to point out, you called, I think, both of the big matches on Saturday. You said that Heyman was going to somehow we both were talking that Heyman was going to align himself with Rollins somehow. You called Dirty Dom. And I didn't think that was it looked like it was playing out differently. That was pretty that was one of the coolest moments because we don't really get the natural turns that in our recent generation.
And it's not even a turn it's not even a turn because Monday night he was technically still a heel, but now he's
still a heel, but it's the same. He's following in his daddy's footsteps. He's doing what Eddie Guerrero did. He's lying, he's cheating, he's stealing, but you love him for it. Why do I love him so much?
It's fun. It's fun. And
He's
like,
the
look,
Latino
I will speak in the weekend in general because obviously it wasn't a cheap event. Okay, I'm not fucking sugarcoating it. It wasn't a cheap event, and that's why obviously the numbers were down of people attending, and why people were upset for the lack of crowd slash chanting on night one as opposed to night two. And look, my experience, like I got the full WrestleMania experience this weekend. Last year I did not get that. Last year I got just WWE World and then Sunday night. Like I obviously couldn't make Saturday for whatever for coaching reasons last year. So I only was able to go to Sunday last year and WWE World. And that was it. So this year I got the full experience slash outside of SmackDown and Raw in the Hall of Fame. That's why I got the full experience. I didn't go to the Tony Hinchcliffe thing because obviously there's a lot of shit that came out about that. I didn't go to the Undertaker show, but I had everything else. Okay. So I'll start the weekend off. I went to NXT Stand and Deliver, and I kid you not, if you are a male that likes wrestling and you have a significant other that is really questioning why the fuck you like it so much, show them this show. Show them this show, and they will see flip after great storyline, after turn, after high flying, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is actually entertaining. And like this is why wrestling's fun. This is why people like this. It's basically Cirque du Soleil with play fighting. Right? That's exactly what it is. And look, I got a shirt that says wrestling is real. It is fucking real, okay? And it is a real storyline. It's real shit. And that's why it's so much fun. So NXT Stand and Deliver, man, no pun intended, stand and delivered. It delivered. It was fantastic. I loved every second of it. If you didn't watch it on Saturday, I highly recommend going back and watching it because it was incredible. Look, being at T-Mobile Arena, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's a hard cam. There's a hard cam side where it was filled all the way to the top. The opposite side wasn't filled. Obviously, I looked over and there was open stands. That's what happens in NXT. NXT is different. But I still was thoroughly enjoyed with what happened Saturday morning. And like I said, I got off a plane, walked into the NXT Stand and Deliver right off the plane, checked into the MGM Grand Hotel, walked over to T-Mobile Arena and got the first-hand experience of it all. Then after that, we went back to the hotel for an hour and went to night two or night one, where the nosebleed tickets. And like I said, people will say all they want. I was thoroughly entertained the whole time except for 3 matches. Thoroughly entertained the whole entire time except for 3 matches. And frankly, there was only one of those matches were on the first night. And the only match that I was not entertained with was the New Day match, which I thought was obviously very, very boring. And it was like, when my mom was there, I told Mom, this is the bathroom break. I was like, this is the bathroom break. This is the food break. Let's go get something. And we came back. We didn't miss much. Unfortunately, we didn't miss much. Okay. I thought the opener, Jey Uso, was fun. Everyone was eating. That was exciting. I thought the storytelling was great with that. I thought that was so much fun. I thought the Jacob Fatu match was so much fun. I thought with LA Knight, that BFT out of air was
LA
incredible.
Knight can wrestle.
Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. LA Knight put the rocket ship on him, and let's see what he can do in the main event scene. Because I thought that was super exciting. You know, I love me some El Grande Americano. That was exciting. That was so much fun. I had so much fun.
I love Rey Mysterio, but Rey Fenix that's an experience I've never experienced before.
Exactly. It's just like, oh my God, this guy's so entertaining. What the fuck? It's the same thing I would get with Penta. It's like, and then El Grande Americano, it's like, he's not Chad Gable, everyone. He proved it. Okay, he proved it. It's still probably the jury still out. Could be Obafemi, could be Mark Henry. The people are talking. That's all I'm saying. Okay. But I was thoroughly entertained by that match. I know people have their thoughts on the Gulf of Mexico / Gulf of America and well, it's hating luchador wrestling and blah blah blah. Look, the WWE bought AAA, right? It was just the biggest Mexican wrestling promotion in the world. Biggest Mexican luchador wrestling promotion in the world, and they just picked them up, right? And this was, look. Unfortunately, with Rey Fenix, I get it. It sucks that he took the pin. But you have fucking gold with El Grande Americano. You have struck gold. Like, I kid you not, it is going to be one of the most entertaining storylines we will have for the next couple months until they release his mascot and fucking Mark Henry / Big Show walk through that door. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. It is absolutely pure cinema. It is going to, like I said, look, the ending of this feud with American Made and all the luchadors does not end with Rey Fenix. I'm sorry. Frankly, they put Rey Fenix in this match to give him a WrestleMania match. It should have been Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio would have won that, took the mask off. We'd have been done with it. But with Rey Mysterio's injury, you have to do these turns, do these fixes, and be like, you know what, Rey Fenix, I understand it's going to be your first pin, but you're going to show off. You're going to have a great performance, and you're going to have this high flying extravaganza. But right now, your storyline is put somewhere else. El Grande Americano's storyline, drink that coffee, is in this one, and it was fantastic. I enjoyed every second of it.
That's also the same storyline they've been doing in Mexico, and that's Lucha Libre to a T. There is always some outsider that comes in who's wearing a mask that you're like, that guy's not Mexican.
It's happened everywhere. I don't know why people are all of a sudden mad here. Like, it's happened everywhere.
People just don't read
Chris Jericho's.
Excuse me. Sami Zayn has not done it. El Generico is still
Generico,
somewhere out there.
El Generico, like look at Lucha Underground and all those shows. Half of those wrestlers are in WWE now that wore masks, right? It was not just
looking for King Puma King.
King Puma, like now who's now in AEW. Apparently, don't know. It's kind of possibly just rumors. It could be it could be the Great Khali under there, but like it's so damn entertaining, and that's why like you texted me the Samoans are running wrestling. I was like, hold on, the Luchadors are coming back.
I still stand behind my statement.
You're not entirely wrong. You're not entirely wrong, but the Luchadors are making a comeback, Jimmy. I hope you see that.
The thing is that a lot of the Samoans can do lucha libre, and they're also 320 pounds because Jacob Fatu was doing the same spring. He's not springing as much as Rey Fenix.
Is there a Samoan out there that wears a mask? Is that something?
Well, I don't know if it's a mask. They obviously a lot of them might have the tattoos on their face because of the.
But I would like a full luchador mask. Give me Jacob Fatu and a werewolf luchador mask, and send him to the fucking moon.
Everybody needs a lucha mask. Lucha up. That's
I love it. And the rest of the night, yeah, I know. And the rest of the night, I thought that was very good. Obviously, Tiffy and Charlotte, those two hate each other in real life. We weren't going to get much from that. It was a
brutal match.
It was a brutal war. Like I hope these two never set foot in a ring for another year or two and can be separated as far away as possible because they obviously have a lot of bad blood in real life, and it showed in the match, and it was very, very frustrating on that front.
Yeah. No, for the main event,
cinema. Absolutely.
Yeah, you get it. That was his whole point. He's like, I'm gonna win this one the easy way. I am not going to entertain you. I'm not here to put on a 5-star match. I'm not here to let Cody get his shit in.
No. Wait. We got to build up to that. Because we got time. I know we have a long show coming. But the triple threat main event on Saturday night. Incredible. First of all.
Accentuated by what happened on Monday, but yes.
Yes, but also living color. Yeah. In live in person with the fire burns. It may be the greatest entrance in WrestleMania history. With the hoodie over the head, the fucking payment on the watch, with the living color, CM Punk, I love you. You can never do me no wrong. It was incredible. And then the match itself, like I said, obviously the matches of the night too were great as well. But that triple threat stole the show. It stole the show. All of us were like, he's going to do it. It's really going to turn. And then he hands the fucking chair to him. And I'm like, this is cinema. This is why I like wrestling. Because look, as much as people call it fake, quote unquote fake, you can't predict this stuff entirely. No one in that stadium knew that Paul Heyman was going to do that except 5 people. Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Triple H, and probably one other person in the back, and there's your 6 people. Everyone else was glued to their seat, like, what's going to happen? Who's he going to side with? Is he not going to take anybody? Are we just going to get a full turn with CM Punk? Are we going to get a turn with Roman Reigns? What's going to happen? And instead, we got one of the best matches of the night, and an ending that like people are going to talk about for years and years because of the storylines that can come from this and how good it's going to be.
Technically, on the 10-year anniversary of his cash-in, which was an incredible ending moment in and of itself, he probably tops himself with this is going to be the next 2 years worth of storylines. Now we know who the next big bad is.
I'm talking 5 to 10, Jimmy. God, look at
this. This is your replacement for the Bloodline because the Bloodline is no longer the big bad heels that everybody can hate. Now you have this new faction with Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins. There's going to be somebody else. I don't know who, but It's always groups of 3.
Do you want to throw out rumors and what we think is going to look like?
The one that I'm seeing that I think makes a lot of sense, because I do think that there is talent and potential in this guy, who's Austin Theory. Because
It
then
makes sense.
You're looking at the equivalent of Evolution: Seth Rollins, Triple H, Batista, Braun Breaker, Randy Orton, Austin Theory.
It's not a bad look. I don't think it's a bad look at all. I think Austin Theory would be really good, but I think that they're going to add a woman. I think Becky Lynch, with her turn Monday night, is going to be thrown into this. I think she'll, because if you look at the, it's not Evolution. It's Heyman had a
4 Horsemen, or it was the Dangerous Alliance.
The Dangerous Alliance, yes, and they had a woman. I forgot. I can't remember off the top of my head.
It was all the way back in WCW. That's WCW, how deep I had to reach.
And I think we're gonna have a 2.0 to that with Becky Lynch added to this. Bring a Continental Championship back. It's gonna be Seth Rollins. It's gonna be Braun Breaker. You want to know someone that hates CM Punk, that hates Roman Reigns more than any living person on this planet? Drew fucking McIntyre. Oh my God! I just Drew being the Randy. Obviously, he's been around for a while, but he's still younger. He could be the Randy. Braun Breaker be the Batista. Seth Rollins be the fucking Triple H. Paul Heyman be that. Becky Lynch be the woman that's destroying everything. That's just going to be the most deadliest faction in all wrestling. It's going to be so much fun. And I get Austin Theory and I get finding these other guys. But I don't know if Austin Theory is ready for the spotlight yet.
I don't think Paul Heyman likes him enough.
I don't think
Paul Heyman has to like you in order to be put in this.
Drew, I think, fits perfectly in the storyline. I think he does.
Yeah. I can tell you who I know it's not going to be. It's not going to be Braun Strowman.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Did you see? I know you watched the McAfee show, so I know you've seen it. But if you didn't, that was the one person that Paul Heyman kind of called out by name and said he sucks.
He called out a lot of guys, and Jax did the same thing too, which is pretty bad. But getting to night 2, the women's triple threat also absolutely set him a 2. Those 3 women can fight forever, and I'll be happy. And just let them go round and round and round letting Io get her moment. I think was so much fun. I think that was great. Night 2, and this is why I think people were so sour on night 2 of WrestleMania. It started with 4 fucking bangers. And then there was a massive drop-off. And I mean massive drop-off until the main event. It started with Io, Rhea, Bianca, which was absolutely incredible. It then went to the Sin City Street fight where Drew and Damian Priest beat the living hell out of each other, which was absolutely incredible spot after incredible spot after incredible spot. Drew McIntyre got his selfie moment. My mom was like, why does he have a phone? I was like, wait a second. Let me pull up Twitter for you. And I showed it to her. She was like, oh my God, that's genius. I'm like, I know it is. That's why I love him. That was incredible. And then you go into the Fatal 4-Way with Dom, Braun, Penta, Finn Balor, and I'm just like, this is why I love it. This is why I fell in love with professional wrestling. This is why I paid this much for this ticket, because I'm just like, the whole crowd cheering Dirty Dom, and the pop when he won, it was beautiful. I was like, my mom was like, isn't he the bad guy? I'm like, yeah, but everyone loves him.
Not no more.
Not anymore. It's like, it's fun to like the heels. It's fun. Like I said, the heel and face thing is kind of out the window nowadays. It's more of like, this guy's bad for this reason. This guy's good for this reason. It's like, you know what? That makes sense. You know what? That makes sense. And that's why the heel and face thing is so exciting. And then, my God, the biggest pop of the night, the most fun I've had all weekend. Randy Orton's open challenge. I didn't read the dirt sheets because apparently it was rumored that he was going to be the one to come out. I was expecting Rusev. I was expecting Nick Aldis. And when the doors opened and Say His Name came on, I kid you not, I jumped so far out of my seat and I lost my damn mind. I was like, good for Joe Hendry, man. Oh, incredible moment for him and for TNA and everything, man. This guy's put a rocket ship to his back and sent him to the fucking moon too, because Joe Hendry is special. And like I said, for those that are saying he got squashed and this, that, and the other thing, it's Randy fucking Orton. This is the first ballot Hall of Famer. This is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. That is not a squash. That is his moment to get the limelight and have some fun. Because like I said, everything with Randy Orton coming up to WrestleMania was deep. It was like, I'm going to punt the fuck out of Kevin Owens. I'm going to be hardcore. I'm going to this, that, and the other thing. Instead, the one person that could come out and crack a smile on his face during all this tension was a guy that gave the stadium one of the biggest pops of all time in Joe Hendry. And like I said, it was you had the turn with the hands in the air. You had the Joe Hendry got his moves in. It's like not like he didn't get some moves in. It wasn't just like a 2 seconds RKO. He got some moves in. We're probably 2 minutes screen time. I know it wasn't much, but it was enough. He got his moves in, got the RKO, got the hand raise, got the seal of approval from one of the goats, and then got RKO on the way out and got the tap on the chest. It's what if you were a wrestler trying to get into the business, I don't think you could plan it more perfectly. Right? Like, if you were trying to get crack your way into WWE, you skyrocket yourself through a promotion, you become a social media sensation, and then you get put in a secret situation where Randy Orton is you're facing one of the greatest of all time on the biggest stage in them all. And you get squashed, quote unquote squashed, but at the end, you get your hand raised and everyone loves you more now than they did last week.
He also got put on the NXT show coming out of the weekend. So they are going to continue to do stuff like this.
I believe, is all I'm going to say. I believe.
We'll see what happens when his contract comes up. I don't know.
Well, I think Triple H believes now too because the pop he got. Like I think the pop, that's undeniable.
You got to make sure that you can repeat it. That's my only thing.
True. That's true, and continuing on with it. And then the last two,
consistency is the key.
The last 2 matches were the duds for me outside of John Cena. I mean, look, it was Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. We didn't get no prime bottle. We didn't get no moment. It was Karrion Kross out here giving him brass knuckles and him not using it. And that was the whole storyline. I was like, that's our co-main event. And like, look, no slights to the women wrestlers. And I thought Liv has had a great year wrestling wise, and Lyra has obviously been incredible. What's the point of taking Bayley off the card? Why are they put on as the co-main event? Right? Co-main event is a breather, obviously, but when you have dud, and then horrible finish to finish the night, that's where these sour things happen. Because if you moved around the matches, you had Io Rhea first, right? You put on Logan Paul, AJ Styles second. You throw on the Fatal 4-Way. Then you throw on the women's tag titles, and then you throw on Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. And then you lead into it. I think everyone's a lot more happy.
I do think that was kind of the point with the pay-per-view as well. Like, you're going to have to deal with some things, and the American audience is used to a very clean, either happy or dissatisfied ending, and you didn't get that. You got the ending that the guy wanted. Now we're seeing what can be happening with like the fourth wall. John Cena doesn't want to work that hard. He has 27 dates left. He said that right before Randy Orton RKO'd him and started what we all wanted. Thank God. Thank you, God.
Thank you, Papa H. Thank you, Lord.
Yes.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Papa Paul. Paul, you have delivered once again.
Look, it's a tough finish, but like that main event was ruined by one person.
The one that didn't show?
What? The one who didn't show up. Like, I have been on the Rock hate train since last year's WrestleMania. What was the point of the 1, 2, 3 if you weren't going to show up until the Elimination Chamber? What's the point of the whole Cody, sell your soul to me because I'm not going to show up at WrestleMania? What's the point of that? Because we never even got the whole sequence of John Cena, why did you sell your soul? Well, we never got that answer from between Elimination Chamber, and we had 5 weeks. Between Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania, we never got the answer why he sold his soul. So what's the point? Right? I understand Travis Scott's this big fucking hit. Okay? In the wrestling world, no one gives a fuck about Travis Scott. No one gives a flying fuck about you. You could have finished that match in a dirty way without adding Travis Scott, and we would have been just fine. When we got the pop for Travis Scott with the music hitting, that's when everyone was like, here we go. And that's when everyone was like, well, fuck, that's a horrible finish. Right? That's when I was like, if you just let it be, you let those two fight forever, you had John Cena turn heel at Elimination Chamber without even The Rock even in the picture, it would have been very perfect. It would have been ideal, and it would have been nicely worked out. But instead, Travis Scott has to promote his merch line. It has to promote his theme song that I heard 50,000 times over the weekend. And I'm just like, it's just annoying because, like, obviously, I was pro Cena, and frankly, the whole crowd, more than half that crowd was pro Cena. The Let's Go Cena chants as opposed to the Cena sucks chants were overpowering, and it's just very frustrating because after he won, we were like, you know what? I saw something special. I saw a record be broken. And that was my feeling right after. It was like, you know what? Was the finish a little weird? Yeah, it was. But I saw something special. And frankly, like what I felt the most was after it went off the air and Cena was walking through and the thank you Cena chance came in. He cracked a smirk. And he cracked a smirk because like I know he broke kayfabe there a little bit, but like he cracked a smirk being like, I still got it. I still have you all in the palm of my hands, and I'm still one of the GOATs for a reason. And it doesn't matter how you won. It doesn't matter. And like I said, Cody Rhodes was a great champion for a lot of months here throughout the whole year. But frankly, Cody Rhodes, this circle can come back around. The circle can come right back around at the end of John Cena's run, and Cody can be the one to help him come back to the bright side. And we can get the flashy entrance. We can have the fruity pebble colored shirts, and we can have all this fun with it. But in the meantime, it's the right finish. How are you complaining about the finish, right? You can complain about how it finished. You can't complain about the result because look at what we're going to get from it.
Yeah.
Like what? I'm not here being like, oh, that sucks. Why the fuck? I'm not complaining because guess what? I get Cena versus Randy Orton. I get Cena versus CM Punk as a good guy. I get Cena versus AJ Styles maybe. Again, I get banger after look, John Cena could have coasted. He said this. He could have coasted, played the hits, adios, see ya. Instead, we're getting all the fucking hits. All of them. and like I said, I'm here for the ride. I will enjoy it until the 27 periods is cracked down to 0, and he finally becomes a good guy again because he will not finish as a heel. I guarantee it. And he comes back to the good side. But like I said, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. And like I said, if you don't like it, fucking step back in line because WrestleMania is not the end of John Cena's retirement. We're acting like John Cena retired Sunday night. Did he? Because he didn't.
Just the beginning.
Just the beginning of it. It's we are just on the cusp of this John Cena heel turn. That was not the culmination. We were just on the cusp of it. And that's why I'm so excited of how this goes forward. Because as far as WrestleMania is and how big of the showcase is morals and blah, blah, blah. Money in the Bank looks more fun now. SummerSlam looks like fun now. Backlash in St. Louis. Randy versus John Cena looks like a lot of fun now, right? Every pay-per-view from here on out will be must-watch TV because of the result of Sunday night. So that's why I'm not complaining as much as everybody else.
I agree with you. I think that we've done our part for this segment. We're going to send it over to what we recorded with Daren, talking a little bit about the NBA playoffs and the NFL draft coming up tomorrow night. Make sure that you subscribe. It's in there. And we'll be back again on Saturday with more playoff streams. But we're going to go ahead and drop out and let you guys finish up with the NBA and NFL draft conversation that we had last night. So we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
About it, we're time traveling a little bit. This is recorded prior to what you guys just watched. Nico and I were just live after the Avalanche game. We have our good friend from Fat Boy Fadeaway Sports Podcast, Daren Briare, on with us, and we're going to talk NBA playoffs because Daren is a big basketball presence, especially over on the Variety Sports Network. Big Warriors fan. And we don't have to deal with them right now. We can maybe talk about our situations that are similar but different in a way, and then we'll also get into a little bit of the NFL draft because Nico and I have not touched on that a lot. Daren and I did Talking the Gridiron for the last 3 seasons with Variety Sports. So we're obviously, we got a lot to catch up on. Sports it feels like it's going a little bit crazier than it usually does. I feel like I'm busier than I am during football season, but we're here. We're in NBA playoff basketball. And boys, I'm just going to go ahead and start it off right away. The Indiana Pacers, a 2-0 series lead over the Milwaukee Bucks. That just went final as we were getting on. Is the final score, and considered surprising. Like this would be considered a surprise if this is the way that things go. But what have we seen from this Milwaukee team? No Dame on the floor, unless I'm not sure if he came back in the most recent game. But they're down 0-2. They're staring early round exit in the face, and this is not something we normally have in the NBA playoffs. So what's going on out there in Milwaukee?
Good, Nico.
I mean, well, Dame did play tonight, so on Tuesday, so he did get his homecoming. Which, like, I mean, look, the injury he had. It's a, I believe it was a lung puncture again, or something crazy. It's like one of those crazy injuries that um, you rarely ever see, and it's awesome seeing him back on the court because Dame during playoff time is just so damn exciting and a lot of fun to watch, and it's very electrifying. But frankly, like Indiana, 1 year removed from Western Conference Finals appearance, people are sleeping on this team a lot. Like obviously the Clevelands, the Bostons, the New Yorks, the world get the limelight. Obviously Milwaukee, the Giants get the limelight. Indiana is very, very similarly built to those Cleveland rosters from the last couple of years, right? They're young talent depth-wise. They have a couple big men, Miles Turner and company in the middle that can dominate the paint. They have a good ball handler, Tyrese Halliburton, that's not afraid to kick it. They're really built from the inside out. And like I said, Milwaukee just seems like they've had – this is the problem that we're having with them with the Nuggets as well, is like they've had the same identity over and over again ever since winning that championship back in 2022. It just seems like they've been stuck in the same roster. And look, I don't know who in the Milwaukee Bucks front office thought Kyle Kuzma was going to take this team over the top by trading Chris Middleton away and bringing Kuzma in the year 2025, but that looks like it backfired straight in their face. The biggest mistake that this team made, frankly, was the Dame Lillard trade, because look what Drew Holiday has done for Boston the last couple of years, right? Like he's done incredible things for Boston, and frankly, they're really losing that one solidified wing defender that they had in Drew Holiday. Right? They've been trying to use these other guys in these spots that frankly cannot guard. And when you're facing Indiana with Tyrese Halliburton, who's obviously one of the best facilitators at the point guard position in the league today, like they are just struggling mightily to stick up with the offensive pace and the defensive talent that the Pacers have. And like I said, this is a weird situation for Milwaukee because everyone wants to talk about, well, will Jokic join Luka in LA, blah, blah, blah. The real conversation is what is Giannis going to do? Because Giannis at this rate is getting irate. He's being irate, getting first round exit, and after winning the championship. And frankly, they have done nothing to help this team. So it's a tough situation. Like the series is far from over. They say playoffs don't start until a home team loses playoff game or loses a game, and we haven't had that yet. So it's a 2-0 lead. It's not a massive deficit, but Milwaukee needs to figure it out, especially game 3, and get their game right.
It's funny watching a little bit of the game.
My bad. My internet keeps cutting in and out. Go ahead.
Sorry, Jimmy. Try not to cut you off. I think it's just coming across differently on that end. No, I was saying that I think with Milwaukee, they're a score short. And like, and it kind of maybe actually a player and a half, to be honest, because Portis had a great game today. And like, he goes 11 for 19. Giannis has a great game. You're thinking, okay, we're right there. But who's going to be that guy? Lillard's hurt, right? And he's not. This is not Trailblazers. No, he's not there. And then you look at Prince. He's not going to be that guy. Lopez at times was able to give him that. And then you mentioned Kuzma, who was, I mean, you look at his stat line from game 1. That is an all-time stat line. The deal's like 22 minutes to get that many zeros. That's impressive on your scoreboard.
It's as Charles Barkley called it, it's the triple single. It's the triple single.
Triple single. I think the Bucks are kind of toast after this year. I don't see any moves they're making, Jimmy. I do think, on your point, though, the Pacers they're in a good position to make another run. They're about 8 deep, 9 deep if they get if they can get the right matchup there. But yeah, I don't know.
And Siakam, I mean, that Siakam deal last year during the regular season was
great deal.
Was such an underslept deal. Like Siakam obviously won a championship in Toronto. He was a key piece in those Raptors teams that were good. Like you add into this roster of Halliburton, Turner, and company. It's like this team has the pieces. Maybe they're lacking the star talent and the big game talent to beat a Cleveland or beat a Boston down the line. But like they are just built so great depth wise. I mean, having Toppin and McConnell off the bench, Maturin as well, who was a rookie of the year candidate. Like they have so much great talent and depth on this team. The only problem with them is like their playoff experience, and they went to the Western Conference or Eastern Conference Finals, last year. So they have that. It's like now, can this team get over the hump when they have less star talent than these other teams? And frankly, they're doing that against Milwaukee. So why can't they do that against any other teams in the East?
Do they play any
Nope.
more defense than they did
No.
last year? Because I remember the Indiana show of being 160-point scorers
so-
and giving up 159.
Yes,
Yes. I mean,
they
it's
attempt to
tough,
play a
though.
little bit more.
Nemhard has obviously been a very, very good defender too this year for them. Turner is fully
I
healthy.
never
this year.
thought he was going to be that good out of Gonzaga. He
I
surprised
know.
me.
I mean, he was at
I
Florida,
knew it-
and then went to
I
Gonzaga.
knew he was
yeah.
good, but I didn't know. I didn't think he was going to be this good of a player. And he's not even an all-star. But you get my point. I didn't see that coming from him.
Another upset that we seem to have brewing, and this one, Nico, you said a series doesn't start until the home team loses. Well, the Los Angeles Lakers are struggling
Whoa.
with Minnesota right now, and I know Minnesota is another story. Minnesota. I'm sure that you're going over there with this series. What are you seeing with this Los Angeles and Minnesota series so far?
The Minnesota and that part's interesting for me because of it's an interesting matchup because they have Edwards, which is a big guard. They have Gobert. They have Wilt Reed, as I call him, Nas Reed. But he just seems like he never misses when I watch him play, and he's a really dark.
Oh, he does it. Oh, trust me, he does it.
No, he doesn't. That's why my nickname is Wilt Reed. He's killed the Warriors over the past years, and so the combination of those three is not the best matchup for a team where they got rid of Davis, who I'm not saying it was a bad trade at all. Not saying that, but it doesn't match up well.
Okay. We say it over here. It was.
I did not realize the value that Luka had to the Dallas Mavericks fan base. I did not realize that.
I didn't realize he played for my team. No, he's like, that's what I meant. That was ridiculous.
This is why you don't have microphones or cameras in your press conferences anymore. I can see why.
That was just do emails. That was cringeworthy. No, I like obviously the game's just getting started right now. This is a big game for the Lakers. They got to pull this one off, but I'm not sure. I was thinking when I rewatched it, Nico, I'm like, what's the adjustments the Lakers really need? I mean, it's Austin Reeves, but they don't have a big to really go to change the series. So to me, it's going to really just come heavily down to those two guys and the third guy stepping up. It's not the best matchup for them.
I mean, like matchup wise, I think Minnesota gives the Lakers the biggest test because, like you said, like they have the defensive matchups, right? You have Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Rudy Gobert in the middle, Julius Randle. Like those four alone, the defensive wise, you can guard Luka, LeBron, and Reeves. Like you can match up pretty well. It's not like one outmatches the other. McDaniels is a damn good defender. He can match up with Luka if he's hot. He can match up Ant on LeBron because you know he wants that matchup. Mike Conley is a very underrated guard for the longest time ever. So you can throw him on Reeves, or you can get big and even throw Randall on LeBron and change the matchups that way. Like this team matches up very, very well. And like I said, Rudy Gobert, as much shit as I give him over the years, like throwing Jackson Hayes at him is not going to be anyone's problem solver. It is going to have to come from multiple guys. And it's the same thing that the Lakers kind of threw with the Nuggets during the regular season, during that game where they blew us out. And Luka's first game with the Lakers against the Nuggets. Like, they threw double teams. They threw Rui Hachimura. You throw Marcus Morris. You throw Finney Smith. You throw different matchups at the big and make him be a shooter, which obviously Rudy Gobert doesn't want to happen. But like I said, I don't find it in the slightest surprising at all because I know Minnesota is that good. And like I said, there was a 1.5 point game difference between third place and eighth place. Like there is the drop off between the 1 seed and the 8 seed is obviously very big with Memphis, but every other series in the Western Conference is going to be a barn burner. And like you said, there's a real possibility, especially with how well Minnesota shows up in the bright lights, like that the Lakers can pull this off, Golden State can pull this off, and the Clippers pull this off, and we have only one home team moving on to the second round after the first round.
I think the Lakers do win tonight. It'd be hard for me to see them going down 0-2, but it's going to be an Edwards to me. This is such an opportunity for him to take such a big leap in terms of like his brand and all that, beat LeBron, Luka, and it's a big opportunity for him. We'll see if he can get it.
Yeah, I mean, like Luka's obviously a different animal, and I saw what his statistics were last year's Western Conference Finals against Minnesota and how they responded in Game 2, and Luka just absolutely cooked. Now, obviously, we're recording this the day before, so this all happened already. But I expect Luka to play his magic and really try to take over and see make Minnesota question who can really guard him. Is it going to be Jay McDaniels? Is it going to be Anthony Edwards? Is it going to be someone else off the bench? Like what's it going to look like consistently? Because Luka, when he's hot, like it's very, very tough for anybody to stick up with him.
No doubt.
I think we can move into your series now, Daren. It's got to be probably the biggest age gap between two rosters in NBA history. The young up-and-coming Houston Rockets down 1-0 to your Golden State Warriors. How did you guys get lucky and play the babies in the first round?
We got lucky and know how to lose clutch games to the Clippers, apparently. And that helped us get – and then we got the Grizzlies, who apparently they gave us a game. So, it was a good matchup for us for the Warriors in terms of, like, the Lakers. I wasn't terribly scared of the Lakers either because I did think the Lakers had a better advantage over us because of the LeBron factor and Luka. But Houston, as soon as you saw that, the problems with Houston we saw in game one, and it'll be interesting to see if Houston can solve them, is they really don't have any half-court offense that consistently scares you other than just beating the crap out of us on offensive rebounds and just getting enough opportunities that way, getting us in foul trouble enough that way that we're not able to do enough. Because the Warriors, they worry me down the road a little bit. But in this series, when they have the two best scorers in the series, and then you throw out Moody and Pods with Green's defensive ability, that first lineup, I don't know. I don't know how the Houston solves their half-court offense. It was pretty rough at times, and I knew going in it would be. So they're going to have to beat us the way the Grizzlies wanted to try to beat us a few years ago, which is just literally grit and grind, right? That's literally how they're going to beat us. And if the Warriors score 100 points, I feel good. Let's put it that way.
Like Houston, like when you have the inexperience in the playoff with your star players, Jalen Green and Star Thompson, or is it Amen? I can't remember which one.
They were terrible.
They were both horrible, absolutely horrible in the first game. And those are your two top stars of the game, right? I understand Şengün is going to get his. Fred VanVleet's a good player, but like he's not going to be a number one on a playoff contending team. Dylan Brooks is there for defensive purposes. You have that big of a dud game from your two quote unquote star offensive players. Like Golden State matches up really well. I mean, very, very well with this team, right? Like you're begging Amen Thompson in his first. Maybe is it second season? Yeah, second season in the league to guard Jimmy Butler or guard Stephen Curry on the outside wing. Welcome to the playoffs, kid. Or you're saying, hey, Jalen Green, go out there and chase Steph Curry around for 40 plus minutes and see what happens. And these kids are just, like I said, it's inexperience. And the 7th seed, like, it's almost weird saying this because I hate saying this because I think it's still good to win games, but like the 7th seed was the desired thing once Houston locked up the 2 seed.
It really was.
It was the desired. But you didn't want to play the Lakers. Obviously, you probably didn't want to play Denver because of the altitude and different things. Like of all the first 4 teams, you definitely didn't want to play OKC. It's like you wanted to face Houston. It's like if there's one avenue for this mess that was the 4 through 8 position seeding, it was like if you're going to lose, you want to sit in the 7th seed. Like you wanted to because Houston, frankly, like Ime Udoka, like he's a decent coach. I'm not going to slam him for that much, but like he frankly like does not know how to play the big time when you don't have players that are the best players on the floor. Right, the best players on the floor are Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. When you have not even the 3rd or 4th best players consistently, and who knows if it's even the 3rd or 4th best, like you're in trouble. You're in big, big trouble. And man, I just like
they remind me a lot of your Nuggets from about when we played you guys about 3 or 4 years ago. It was like I think you had Bones
during your last championship run. I remember talking about that series. Like the Jackrabbits are just going to continually run around, and then they're going to get open.
Because that's a good point. Because like Jokic, I mean, Şengün's not Jokic, but he carries that weight for Houston. They're both like that kind of style a little bit too. Jokic is a way better passer and all that stuff. But just in terms of the way Houston uses them, and then but then you guys didn't have that second really scorer. Murray wasn't there yet, and you didn't have anybody else. We were
throwing Facu Campazzo off the bench.
It just feels a little like that with Rockets, but like you have the Brooks, but they both do the same things, and so. That's when I watch them. That's what I think of.
Absolutely, the Houston roster, like That's why their names are in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes and the Devin
That
Booker
would be a good
sweepstakes
pickup.
and all these different sweepstakes and why they're in the Jimmy Butler sweepstakes at one point too. Like they just don't have that solid closer piece that you're like, you know what? Like if things are going right in Houston, we can rely on him. Right now, look, Şengün's a damn good player, but like he is not that level yet. He could be. Like, well, obviously, the center position could be. There's no question that the center position has grown so much that it could be the centerpiece of the offense, centerpiece of the defense. But Şengün isn't that point of his career yet. And when you have these duds from your top 5 picks in Green and Thompson, like it's when you're facing Golden State, when you're facing the greatest shooter of all time and one of the greatest playoff performers of all time, Jimmy Butler, like you are not going to show up like that, then you're going to lose. Like that's just the fact of the matter.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I'm hearing no OKC run from Houston. Probably is it over this series, or are we going to be, Daren? Are you going to be sweating it out as we move a little bit further? You got a ton of time to wait in between games, but are you nervous, or are you pretty confident, feel comfortable moving into the second round?
The one thing I was to say quickly about the Warriors team is this team does not make me feel good. Like there's no they blow game. You saw it with the Memphis one. They should have put that team away, and they just weren't. They let them back in. They do this all the time. Even with Houston, that happened last night. I mean, like that they let teams back in the game, and the Warriors have a deficiency too because they do have 2 scorers. But eventually teams can – it just makes it harder when you don't have that third guy that's the outlet consistently. And so my confidence level is high. I'd say if it's out of 10, it's probably up to like a 8 now because I feel like they have like the home field advantage, the home court advantage, and I feel like they have the experience like we talked about. But this team is not like the old Warriors teams where it's fourth quarter and you're up, you're winning. Like that, this team does not have that vibe.
I do have a question for you because, like, from the outsider, and obviously I didn't watch all the Golden State games all season, but like, why is Kuminga getting DNPs? I mean, I thought like Moody's obviously taken off. He's played very, very well the late end of the season I've seen, but like I'm seeing Kuminga get DNPs, and I thought he was that Aaron Wiggins replacement or Andrew Wiggins replacement,
Yeah.
and a player that can play alongside Jimmy Butler. Why is he getting these DNPs and really been a non-factor in the playoff rotation?
This is the best way I can describe it. Is you guys, it'd be like he doesn't come in and do his role well enough. They don't like what. So when they have the stars in, like you'll see like a Santos on there or Pods because they know how to play within the system. They know how to like.
Santos looks like they clone Anderson Varejao and
from Brazil.
Like I was looking out there, I was like, was Anderson Varejao back in the league? Like with his floppy, moppy hair and light skin. I was like, what in the world am I looking at?
Copy paste.
Like Kuminga, like here's when he did his best basketball all year. Who was out? Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
My point is like when they're on the court, it's part. I don't know. It's a team game. Like he does. They don't play when him, Green, and Butler are on the court. There is like all the defenses are like we're just like they're not shooting, and so it's a huge issue. He's not a consistent scorer within the system they need him to be in. So. That's why, and I don't think Kerr has any trust in him. That's kind of how. And Kerr's a pretty good coach, so I trust that part of it.
Well, I thought that another coach that had a pretty good system, the New York Knicks, they were in a situation where I thought that they had a pretty good shot. They're getting a Pistons team who has not. They had a 14-game playoff losing streak in order. Had not made the playoffs in a long time. This is not the bad
playoff game since 08-09.
Yeah, this is not the bad boy Pistons. This is not Dennis Rodman on Detroit. Yet they go in there into the Mecca, into Madison Square Garden, and they take game 1, or game 2. We know that New York media is going to overreact to anything. So now the sky is falling and the series is over, and they're going to lose to this Detroit Pistons team. Was that the one and only? What are we thinking here? Where are we going with this series?
I mean, I still love New York in this series. I think they have the best starting 5. Like, frankly, like it's inexcusable for a Tom Thibodeau-led defense to let up 33 points from Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is an absolute dog. Like he's one of the most improved players for a reason. Like he has been such a damn good player this year. Really is taking that next step in his stardom and being a high performing player, especially in the playoffs. But like with New York, like I really just struggle to see how they got some of these guys into the rotation, right? And how they got them involved. Because it really felt like they were just going Brunson consistently in game 2. And like I look at Cat's stat line, and I'm like 10 points, 4 and 6 from a guy that frankly is one of the best shooters and weapons in basketball. Like that's what we're doing. Like I get OG Anunoby having a light game and maybe some of the other guys getting that love, but like Karl Anthony Towns was brought in as possibly not just the number 1 guy in New York, but the number 2 at minimum. Like no hate to OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart and company, but like Cat is a playoff performer. He has been around, been in the playoffs multiple years, and been some hard fought battles, unlike some of these guys. And that's a performance you get from your star center. It's crazy because obviously they're playing the 7-man rotation because their bench may be worse than ours. But Mitchell Robinson being your main bench piece, I get it if you're going to run these guys in the fucking ground. But if you're going to get 40 minutes from Karl Anthony Towns and only get 10 points and only 6 boards from your big man, and not have a backup option or another guy to go out and get rebounds, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, especially when you have Jalen Duran on the other side, who's obviously very, very good in the middle, and they have depth and on the wing to match up with the New York Knicks in Detroit. So it's a tough matchup for New York, but I do think that New York will right this ship. But I worry about going to the next round and possibly the one after that if they make it that far. With running 5 guys into the fucking ground. Because it may work fucking game 7 of the NBA playoffs, but it will not work game fucking 2 and running your guys in the ground because the longevity of the playoffs, and there's a reason, as good as it typically is, it's a reason why he's never made it to the NBA finals. Because his teams fall tired and it falls short. So at some point you're gonna have to start getting some contributions from some other people.
Yeah, no, I mean, Robinson played 20, McBride 13, Payton and Shamet combined for 9 points. That was their total bench minutes. That's pathetic. Yeah, they really worry me. I mean, to be honest,
8 bench points alone.
To be honest, he doesn't have much to go to. I mean, like Payne is like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like I have any name. There's no names jumping out. Quarter 3 off the block there. We get him out there with the little run. I think Jimmy, there's a chance that Detroit pulls this off. I'm a huge Brunson guy. I don't like the flopping. I hate that part of this game. Towns was awful.
Like he's taking the James Harden lefty thing to heart.
Oh
and that's gosh. What he's become.
I know it's super annoying. He's better than that.
Doesn't everybody kick their foot out when they shoot 3-pointers, or is that just me and half the NBA?
Maybe you. Is Cade? Maybe Cade could possibly be the best player in this league in this series.
Oh yeah.
And so when you have that as a team, sometimes you get guys to play above what they were. And guess who played above what they were? Which Dennis Schroeder, right? Like I mean, he got 20 points, and like he was the second leading scorer for both teams. Schroeder. So if you're getting a 20-point Schroeder game, Nico, that's a good start if you're Detroit.
Especially off the bench. I mean, like your starting point guard gives you 33. And then the backup point guard comes in and gives you 20, and there's 53 points alone. And I'm like, damn, yeah. Like what else do you want more from your backup point guard after your? I mean,
just do that every game.
Yeah, just do that every one.
Repeat it every single time.
The second Cade Cunningham stepped off the floor, like this team was a plus, right? Like look at the plus minus box score. Like the bench,
it was insane.
Paul Reed plus 13, Holland plus 2, Schroeder plus 2, Beasley plus 7, right? The only people who were minus were Tim Hardaway and Durant, and they played both 20 and 30 minutes. Like I said, Detroit believes. It's weird saying that, but Detroit believes in Cade Cunningham. Like I think you hit the nail on the head, Darren. Like Cade Cunningham could easily be the best player in the series.
And so it gives them a slight advantage there.
You got the Motown Miracle name just sitting out there waiting.
It's
there. It could possibly happen. We're not going to talk about the 1 and 8s because I think the 1 and 8s are a waste of breath. But the last series,
they're toast.
That we'll talk about in depth. Our Nuggets, on the Clippers, it's tied 1-1. Nuggets get a big win in Game 1 on Saturday, and then fall last night. It just seems, and Nico, you'll know this way better than I because you watched this team, and I know that you've tried to temper people's expectations, but Jokic looks just like he did in that Portland series where he's just tired. Like he has to play as all of the time, and he's getting himself in more foul trouble. It's putting pressure on him where he's not able to play at that level that even if he does play at the level that we're used to, nobody else is picking him up. And now MPJ goes down with an injury last night. The series is not in a good place right now. It's a very precarious 1-1 record.
I mean, this is the best matchup the whole playoffs. Like these are the two most even teams by far and away. It's not even close. Like frankly, they could split every single game the rest of the series and see what happens. Frankly, there's a couple things of note, from what I saw Saturday and what I saw Monday night when I was there. Like, healthy Kawhi Leonard is still one of the best players in basketball. Like, he is like. I was watching him shoot the ball. I was like, this motherfucker don't miss. I was like, what am I like mid-range bang, 3-point bang, turnaround fade, bang. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
And his face never changes, right? Because I've heard other people say he will make every single shot and there will never be an ounce of change on his face.
He was just banging shot after shot after shot. I was like, Harden's not even fucking beating us. I was watching Kawhi Leonard, prime 2014 Kawhi Leonard all over again. Or prime 2019 Toronto Raptor Kawhi Leonard. And I was like, fuck, dude. I think he missed 3 shots on Monday when he went like 15 for 18 or something stupid
15 and 19, yeah.
15, 19, whatever it was. Like, I was looking, I was like, man, this looks like San Antonio and Toronto Kawhi Leonard all over again. And like I said, obviously, we've been deprived of Kawhi Leonard the last couple of years of the playoffs because of his injuries. But, like, people forget how good he is still one of the best players in basketball when he's healthy. When Kawhi Leonard is fully healthy, 2 feet on the floor, there is not a better defender in basketball, frankly, when he's healthy. And it's very hard to find a consistent mid-range jump shooter than Kawhi Leonard too. And he was on full display on Monday night, full display. And the other headache I've had with Monday night that really, really just irked me. It's like, it's the same thing that I said with the New York series, right? You're in game 2 of an NBA series. Game 2. Jokic didn't step off the floor the entire second half. Neither did Jamal Murray. I understand that this isn't a fucking do or die game. And frankly, the bench actually produced halfway decently. The plus minus wasn't as horrible as it once was. The only person that was in a negative plus minus off the bench. Let me pull it up. Sorry. What really poorly was Russell Westbrook, and he got a lot of time running with the starters. Like, you have to trust your bench a little bit, even though it sucks. I'm aware the bench sucks. I'm not fucking blind to it. But like, having Jokic run out there for 43 minutes, Jamal Murray set for 42 minutes, and not get a second of breath in the second half, especially when you're up by 8 points at one point and trying to give them a little breathing way, is the reason. Like, you don't fire a coach with 3 games left in the season. Because Adelman is obviously lost out there. He's lost in rotation. He's like, well, I'll just play my best players the whole time. Well, that's not a long-term solution. It's a short-term solution. But what happens when that short-term solution results in a loss like it did Monday night? Then you have a tired Jokic walking in to Thursday night's game. Obviously, a three-day rest, which helps a little bit. But, like, it's still ridiculous. It's still ridiculous. And then also at the end of the game, like, obviously, the Michael Porter Jr. turnover was bad. That's not sugarcoating it. You get a big stop. You're in a tie game. Michael Porter Jr. turns the ball over, bounces it off his foot, and it turns into a 3 on the other end with a minute left. And you're like, fuck. Well, there goes all of our momentum right there. But frankly, like, you had a chance to tie the game. I understand playing the flow of the game, but Adelman sat with a timeout in his pocket. He sat with a timeout in his pocket. And after the horrible shot that Christian Brown took from the 3-point line of everyone on the floor, I don't know why Christian Brown took it, but he took the 3-point shot. You got the rebound with 5 seconds left, and you barely had a scrap to get it. You should have called a timeout there and at least gave yourself a chance at a decent shot. Instead, Jokic has to take up a heave at the buzzer that doesn't even get close to hitting the rim. And I just sat there. I'm like, that's why you don't fire a coach like that, because Adelman has no experience and had no idea what he was doing, and he was lost. He got lost. He said, I am going to play second fiddle here and watch everything and transfold in front of me, and that's not what a head coach needs to do. I have been to a lot of basketball games in my life. I have never once seen all 5 assistant coaches stand up and yell at the defense during a play. I saw it. I was working right at the bench.
One per player.
I saw Popeye Jones. I saw Flip Saunders. I saw Adelman. I saw the other defensive coordinator. I saw all 5 coaches stand up, and I was like, I was sitting there with Dad. I'm like, Dad, have you ever seen 5 assistant coaches stand up and coach at the same time?
And they were
Have
all
you
obviously
ever-
saying the same thing, right? They were all obviously giving the same message.
Same fucking thing.
No, they weren't. I guarantee you they
Five-
weren't.
5 guys all standing up, yelling defense, how to guard something defensively.
2-3,
Like,
no 3-2.
This is not the fucking regular season. This
Stand
is the
up,
fucking
no, sit
NBA
down.
playoffs.
Hands up, hands down. Kick the
I
ball.
was blown away. I was like, Adelman doesn't know what he's doing. It's like you can be a great assistant coach. It takes a certain person to be able to know how to head coach a team and lead by example and lead a team to a certain way. And Adelman, like I said, what I've seen through the first 3 games, 3 games of the regular season, the first 2 games, and he's saying, Jokic, here's the fucking whiteboard, coach the team and figure out how to win. That's all I've seen. And frankly, that's not good enough when you're facing a good team like the Clippers, especially when they're one of the hottest teams in the basketball. Like, it's just very frustrating on that end.
It's funny you said it was the most even matchup. It is on the court. It's the most uneven matchup in the coaching department.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it's a kind of an interesting trend of how you relayed that, because that's how I had down as a note.
How shocked were you, Darren, when that news bulletin came across that Michael Malone and Calvin Booth were both fired when they were?
I just got done with 2nd grade PE. Jimmy came into the office, was looking to check real quick, some sports updates. Boom! I was like immediately. I was about 45 minutes late to it. Went to X immediately. I saw probably Nico with about four tweets there in a minute. So I enjoyed that very much. I was blown away. Like, to me, it's like just such a slap in the face. And if I was a coach, I'd be pissed. I'd always be a little weary going there. Tyler, I thought, had the best comment. He goes, Mike Malone must be the biggest pain in the ass to work with. I mean, that's the only thing that explains getting rid of a coach this late into the game, right? Where it's like, let's go through the whole season. My team's in the top 4, and let's get rid of it. There is something there where it doesn't add up. I get it, like, we're playing bad and all that, but
I mean, I don't know what you've heard all out there on the coast, but what the rumors are here that they didn't want him to possibly save his job with a deep playoff run.
I have not heard that.
That's the rumors that are circulating here. But I think that it goes back to what Nico was just talking about, where 5 guys are standing up on the bench. Like, Michael Malone doesn't have nobody stand up on the bench besides him.
No,
he's the only person that comes out of the chair, and he's prowling. Like, he'll punch you in the face if you want to say something to his team. You need that as a head coach. Yeah, he might be a pain in the ass. But
he was the assistant coach when Mark Jackson was here out in Golden State. And he got it. Mark Jackson accused him of videotaping or audio recording like assistant coach stuff. So, like, I don't know what to believe, but like, I definitely know about Mike Malone. It's one of the dumbest moves. And like you said, I like it. Like, they are even, but you look at the coaching, I'm like, it matters in the playoffs. It matters rotation. And then you have Leonard, who he was awesome against the Warriors in that final game. He was so good. And Nico, that's where I saw it. I'm like, oh, this is old Leonard. He's the one player in the league that is not. He's not Kobe. He's not. But if I have to think about how somebody plays in this league, he's the closest one. It doesn't mean he's Kobe. I just mean, like, he's under control. He gets to where he needs to get to. He's not missing elbow jumpers.
This is no slight to Kobe, because Kobe's one of the greatest players of all time. But Kawhi Leonard does it a little bit better, because obviously he's a stronger defender than Kobe.
I guess it's not the flair.
It's not the flair, exactly. It's not the flair. It's not the big time.
Colorado. There's no Colorado story with Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard does it in a silent, quiet, demeaning manner. It's just like deflating. Yeah. It's just like Kawhi Leonard gets a shut up. Oh, that's in. Kawhi Leonard gets a shut up. Oh, that's in. It's like, doesn't matter if it's AG, doesn't matter if it's fucking Peyton Watson, Christian Brown, whoever it is you want to throw at him. It's like he looks at it like, this is barbecue chicken. And I just will give me whoever you want, and I will do whatever I want to them.
Gordon's not stopping him. Come on, you got Gordon.
Gordon actually did the best job on him. But the problem we were running into was we decided to switch every single fucking screen.
Oh, I hate when teams do that.
Every single fucking screen, even the light screens.
Man up, get around it.
Even the light screen. And they said, all right, Michael Porter Jr., come here. You want this smoke? Come guard Kawhi Leonard and see what happens. Finally, we started throwing double teams at him, where the guy it's like a lacrosse slide, where a hot slide comes in and the other guy returns back to the center. And we were doing that to divert it. But I was just like, man, he is literally picking on the lesser defenders. Like obviously AG bodies him better than anybody. He's a little bit taller, so he can get the hand in the face. But when Kawhi with the size fucking 13 hands that he has. It's just like impossible to get a hand up and be able to block his shot. Almost as difficult as to block KD's shot because of the way he releases the ball and how quickly he gets it off. It's just unbelievable.
Can I ask you guys a Denver question out there about Westbrook though? Is there like, because out here it's like, oh, you'd be so annoyed. Like, are you guys annoyed with him, or are you like, is there like you? I mean, I was thinking of you, Nico, because of game one. I'm like,
did he blow the game or did he just help us win?
I know. I'm like 17 shots. I'm like this guy has no conscience ever. Like he knows how he plays. He just goes full.
Shout out Worldwide Rob and Rob Perez out there, who's on Twitter, because he's one of my favorite NBA Twitter guys out there, and I follow him. And he says this every single time the Nuggets play, and every time Russell Westbrook plays the playoffs: live by Westbrook and die by Westbrook.
Yeah, there you go. I like.
It's like if Westbrook's playing well, you're probably gonna win. If he starts going 0-4, you will probably lose because he will affect the game that negatively.
Because he's not a guy that can understand. Oh, I went 0-4. I'm gonna stop shooting.
No, not
I'm gonna shoot through this. I'm gonna shoot through this bitch.
Like Russ has learned that if he sits in the corner, he will get open threes. And I think he started practicing it where he's just like, I know I'm going to get open corner threes. I just got to start hitting them, which he was game 2, I will say. But what irritates me the most, I think, with Russell Westbrook's game at this point of his career, he will lose the ball every single time he goes to the basket. The ball will fly in the air when he tries to draw a foul. Like when he goes up, he literally hits the ball in there. Watch it. It'll happen on Thursday night. I guarantee it. Watch it. He will go to the rim, lose the ball in midair, and try to draw a foul. If you watch the good people who drive to the bucket and try to draw a foul, they hold on to the fucking ball and at least try to finish hard. He flails the ball in the air before he even gets touched. and then he takes these mid-range shots, and I'm just like, for the love of God, don't shoot the ball. I said it multiple times. I was like, don't shoot it, don't shoot it, don't shoot it. And he shot it, and he just fucking clanked it because he cannot make it. There's 2 options for Russell Westbrook getting points. It's a corner 3, and it's a drive to the basket. There's nothing in between. That's all it is, okay? And he will get open shots. And the one thing that Russ actually really was good at, and I'll give him a lot of credit for in that Saturday game, was when they started, because the Clippers were obviously throwing the double team at the 2-man game, Jokic and Jamal. They said, someone else beat us. When they started doing that, Russell Westbrook realized, okay, if they want to double team, I'm going to flash to the high post and then force the defender up, and then you can dunk it to AG in a dunk spot and dunk it. Like that play worked 3 or 4 times on Saturday when they tried to throw the double team at the 2-man game. And Russ was like, I'm not doing fucking anything in the corner. Let me flash the high post, be a little outlet there, pass it there. Then you have a 2-on-1 underneath the basket with him and Aaron Gordon, which worked perfectly. I don't know where that where that went to, and because they double teamed the 2-man game multiple times, and they tried to get the ball out of Jokic's hands. But I was just sitting there, and I was just like, I have never really felt like a role player can make or break a game for a team. Watching Russell Westbrook do it, and I'm just like, we're going to either lose tonight because of it, or we're going to win tonight. It doesn't matter if Jokic drops 70, 20, and 20, or if Jamal drops 50. Russell Westbrook will be forced to make open shots and forced to beat us, and we're going to lose the game. This is what's going to happen.
That's funny. I appreciate that. That's good.
Is there anything else that we want to touch on for round 1 of the playoffs so far before we get into the draft talk? Because the other thing going on Thursday is the NFL draft that is getting underway. Anything else for round 1?
Go Raiders. Are we going to make a good pick? Let's get that guy.
The last thing I'll say on the NBA playoffs, I think there will be, I'll say 4 out of the 8 playoff series. Or no, 4's too high. I'll say 3 out of the 8 playoff series, the road team will win.
I was gonna say 4. I was like, that was
4 is pushing it. 4 is pushing
money,
it.
Put money on it. Put money on it.
3 of the 8 playoff series teams that started on the road will win.
Right.
And if I were to guess right off the bat, I will say Golden State. I will say Minnesota. And just because of my sanity, I'm going to pick Detroit.
Okay. You might get 4, Nico. You might get 4.
I don't want 4. I just want 3. Don't give me 4, please.
You could. I mean, there's a pretty good chance.
Wait, let's be honest though. Whoever wins this series, I mean, it's probably gonna go 7. Like, let's not sugarcoat it. I think at least go 6. Obviously, we're already going to 5. I think this the Clippers next series will go to 6 or 7. They are going to walk into the biggest slaughterhouse I have ever seen. And I watched the prime LeBron. I've watched prime KD, like the Warriors. They will walk into Oklahoma City with a target on their back and get their ass fucking handed to them. It doesn't matter if it's us or the Clippers. We don't stand a fucking chance. Okay, there are only. I think the Timberwolves have a chance. I think the Lakers have a chance. I would put maybe the Warriors up there because of Jimmy and Steph and playoff experience having a chance against Oklahoma City. Clippers may have a chance with Kawhi, but I don't know. But we don't stand a fucking chance against Oklahoma City, okay? I have watched this roster all season long. I know Oklahoma City will tear our assholes a new one, and we will be so badly fucked, it will make Shannon Sharp's lawsuit look bad. Look like nothing, okay? So that's all I'll say about that.
All right. Leaving with that, I don't know how we get out of there. Daren, let's talk about your Raiders to start off with, because I'm interested. They got the 6th overall pick because they don't know how to lose games that they should.
Nope.
We talked about that on Talking the Gridiron. But what do you think that they are going to do, and then what do you think they should do? Because those are going to obviously be two different things. What are they going to do at number 6, and what should they do at number 6?
I think they're going to take the running back out of Boise State, but I keep the mock draft things always drive me nuts. I hear like
I've been watching mock drafts since the season ended.
I know.
I don't know about you.
We got Todd. I feel like the Raiders. There's that, but I also think there's a world that's becoming more realistic that Sanders falls to them at 6, and some people say, well, that's not a good pick. We rather. If he falls there and they pass on him, as a fan of the Raiders, I'd just be like,
that's a Raider move.
Yeah, I know, I get it. Like, there might be a better player, but I'm like, we need a quarterback. Like,
Geno Smith though.
Oh, I know, and that's what worries me is they're going to get there and they're going to say, well, we just signed him.
Sign a 2-year contract.
Oh, that deal could be ripped up quickly. We could do that if we need to. Like, but if Sanders goes before that, this has been a tough one. We've been talking about Fat Boy Fadeaways, like. The running back, people have been chiming in. They're like, no, get the running back. And like, I'm becoming a little bit more okay with it because they did draft Bowers last year at tight end. Now you get your running back. That's hopefully your guy. Yeah, I know the offensive line, but if they draft an offensive lineman, that would piss me off too. So like,
There's not an offensive lineman that should go top 10. I don't think this year.
Name one running back on the Raiders last year, guys. Like, think about that. Like, they need a running back.
Josh Jacobs. Oh, I'm sorry. Too soon.
Screw you, buddy. Yeah. So I mean, like, I remember the last game they played Denver. They looked like the home game in Denver when the famous pick 6 there that cost us our season basically. Surtain took to the house like 100 yards. They were running the ball okay there. The offensive line is there. They just need a guy there. So I feel like offense, if they can get Ginty or Sanders, that would be a plus draft for me as a Raiders fan.
Nico, how do you feel as a fan of a team in that division? If the Raiders pick up Ginty, is that worrisome?
Oh, I mean, I would say yes. I think Ginty. I've seen the mocks. I've seen everything everyone talk about and all. Like, I think there's 3 premier prospects in this draft, and I think the 3 are Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, and Ashton Ginty. Like, everyone else kind of like what I've seen is like everyone else kind of molds together. Obviously, quarterback draft boards are different because the way people list quarterbacks is higher than some of these other prospects. But like Hunter, Ginty, and Abdul Carter are the guys that would be like, these guys are going to be Pro Bowl type players, all pro guys that are consistently playing well. And obviously, everyone says that this running back class is very deep. But if you're the Raiders and you're sitting at 6 and Ginty's there and Sanders is there, and you're not sold on Sanders, maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe they are because it looks like Sanders will drop a little bit and may even drop past 20. Who knows? If he does drop, like, I do think you take the safer bet because Ashton Ginty will suit up week 1 and will play right away. Shedeur Sanders, if he is your guy of the future, he won't play week 1. Geno Smith will start week 1 because Pete Carroll is at the helm over there.
Yep.
Okay, let's not forget about those small things. So if you want a win now player and want to build something, like I said, and drafting running back in the first round is another thing that I saw. It's like you get the 5 years, of rookie contract, right? You get the 4 and the 1 if you draft a running back in the first round, which is a massive benefit for a team like us who's in the back end of the draft, even if we want to take a running back. Or the Raiders, for instance, like you could sit on Ginty's rookie contract for 4 years and an extension, right? That may be his entire prime. It could be even extended more if he continues to be that great, right? And you almost want that, especially for a premier running back in Ginty, who obviously like was a Heisman finalist for a reason, and that damn good a player. And like I said, we saw how good the Raiders were when Josh Jacobs was at his best. Like when Derek Carr had a running back behind him that was consistently good, that's when the Raiders were doing well. When they decided to go a different direction, that's when you saw them falter. And having GT added to that backfield, it'll be scary. It'll be scary. Obviously, the offensive line, you can figure that out. You can get depth to the offensive line down the road. You can sign an offensive lineman down the road. Next couple of years, draft classes probably will be a lot better at quarterback position if you're not sold on Shador. And like I said, you have Geno Smith for 2 years. Like I said, Geno Smith will be the bridge quarterback, similar to how Sam Darnold was in Minnesota, right? For JJ McCarthy, he'll be the bridge quarterback for this team, and like he may win you some games because like he did that in Seattle. He did that in Seattle in a good division, obviously. So why can't he do that for Las Vegas, not Oakland, Vegas?
Here's something interesting that I'm kind of seeing going around there, Daren. Possibility that New Orleans trades with Las Vegas and you guys do a swap 9-6.
Because they want Jackson Dart, I'm assuming.
Because moving up,
Jackson Dart, if he's a first-round quarterback,
the Raiders is open to that happening.
Oh my God! If we trade back, then that tells me immediately that then they're not thinking offensively that this year anybody's going to be capable of helping them, and they want a defensive lineman or a cornerback, maybe the guy from Michigan. I'm hearing that they want possibly, and that would kind of fit Pete Carroll's mode as well. Getting a cornerback that really kind of would fit the way he is a defensive back himself. And trust me, as a Raiders fan, they do not have defensive backs, and they have not for a while. And so, like, there's like literally Nico could think of like Michael Huff, like, you know what I mean? There's really like nobody good that you think of when you think of the Raiders' defensive secondary in the last 20 years outside of Charles Woodson and Eric Allen. Like, there's nobody else you think of. And so, if they did that. Yeah, well, don't look at my record with that stuff. But yeah, I hear you. Out of Cal, first round pick. Got John Gruden part of that trade. We got him. Yeah, I don't know, Nico. I just think if they can get the running back from Boise State at this point, like you just said, they have the most talented player at a position that they need, and that's the main thing.
I would say that New Orleans does not need to trade up for Shador Sanders. I am pretty. It seems as though the first 2 picks are going to go Cam Moore, Travis Hunter. With Cleveland and them. And then New York looks like their eyes are set on a defensive guy as well, with obviously having Russ and Jameis Winston still there. So they are not necessarily quarterback needy right away too.
Yeah.
New England obviously isn't going to take a quarterback. Jacksonville won't take a quarterback. Vegas is the interesting one. New York is an interesting one as well. See what they want to do. Do they believe in Justin Fields? Do they give another year? What happens there? Carolina won't take a quarterback with Bryce Young. The problem is if you are high on Genty and you say, well, why don't we just trade back and draft Genty? I think that New York or not New York, but Carolina would entertain the idea.
Carolina should take him.
Carolina would entertain the idea highly at picking him at 8, frankly. And frankly, if you want to go further back, he is not going to drop past 10. Chicago will chomp at the fucking bits to take Genty to add into the offense. I will guarantee that.
Williams, then a running back. Yeah, that's a pretty
yes, absolutely. Comment. They will chomp at the bits, so he will not drop below 10. The one like caveat in all of this is I don't know if it's a smoke screen to fucking scare people because it usually happens this time of year in the draft. It's like someone apparently is trying to get into the top 5, and if I were to guess, it's probably for Ashton Genty. Because I feel as though that the Raiders will take him, and if someone wants a running back that badly, that's where that pick will come from. Is it a Jacksonville trying to trade back? Is it a New England trying to trade back because they didn't get Abdul Carter? That's the 2 spots people have their eyes on for trade back scenarios. So we'll see if it happens, but I would not be surprised if a team tried to jump to 4 or 5. Maybe Chicago try to jump to a 5 or 4 to get Genty and get that running back piece for the future. But we'll have to see because obviously, I mean, Genty, if he falls to 10, he will not go any further. I can almost guarantee that.
No, he would. Jimmy, can I ask you because you're out there in Colorado, Hunter? Like I was doing the podcast with Brian there, and he's like, "Oh, Hunter will fall to the Patriots or the Giants or something like that." Does he get does Carter really go to the Browns?
I think that Carter would go to the Browns over Hunter. I don't think that the Browns are looking for a DB receiver hybrid, whatever they're going to try and.
What I saw is the Browns have him as a receiver.
They need a receiver.
So
and I don't know. If he goes to the Browns, that's going to be where he fights the most to be a two-way player. Because what is Cleveland going to sit there and say? No, we need you to have more success on. You need success everywhere, so you're going to let me play on both sides.
Frankly, I think any of the top five, I think he'd have a chance to do it. I think when you get below the top five is when you have conversations about him being a two-way player. Because I think Jacksonville would entertain it. I think New England would definitely entertain it with Vrabel and how he is known in the past to use offensive linemen in the backfield and maybe try to give him reps on both sides of the ball. I definitely think the Giants would entertain it because their lack of receivers outside of Malik Neighbors and like their bad depth at corner. So like I really do think that the top five are going to entertain it. Whether it lasts or not, we'll see. But I do think that they'll entertain it. Like I find it very, very surprising that they would, especially with how bad some of these teams are.
It is interesting to me for the Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders situation. It's tanked Shedor's draft stock with this jersey retirement going on. It hasn't really done much to Travis Hunter's. Like nobody's really
makes sense. Travis Hunter makes sense.
I get it. It's still like I could see a lot of owners and a lot of like the good old boys club in the NFL level, like they know the backstory of what's happening at CU and how the last guy didn't get his number retired for 2 decades afterwards. It seems a little bit out of place, but that's just the only thing. Like people are, when you're that good for that long, and he's been that good for ever since he flipped and went to Deion at Jackson State, people are just starting to look for reasons to not say that you're that good anymore. So people are going to say that Cleveland doesn't want him and they're not going to take him. I think that, you know, any team that gets him is going to be lucky, and they're going to be very thankful that they listened to their scouting department and they listened to all those people that said he's the best player that they've seen at doing what he's done, because he's the only guy that we've seen do what he's done.
The thing with Hunter is like he is the number one corner in this draft. He is also the number one receiver in this draft.
So he wouldn't fall to the Raiders then.
I'm very, very surprised if he drops below 5.
Right.
Very, very surprised.
I don't think they get by Jacksonville. That'd be surprising.
Jacksonville would be stupid. They'd be the dumbest mistake ever to drop that far, is all I'll say. Like I said, he's the number one corner in this draft, and he's the number one receiver in this draft. So, like, if you're a bad team, even if you play him for every single rep of defense, why the fuck would you not put him in on offense in the red zone? Right? It's like, and even if he doesn't play every single rep offensively, and it's probably impossible to do every single rep offensively, but when I see Travis Hunter sitting there on the bench, and my best option in the red zone is Jerry Jeudy one-on-one coverage because I don't have a running back in Cleveland, why the fuck would I not throw him out there? Right? Like it may be certain packages, but like he's that good of a player and good of an athlete. If I'm a bad team, I would absolutely entertain. Absolutely.
For the Broncos, Nico, I'll let you talk about the Broncos. I'm not really going to talk about the Bengals because they
don't draft defense. They're dumber than dirt.
Get another receiver, Bengals. Get another.
There's some good safeties. Malachi Starks, even Morey's there. You may be able to get a big linebacker or Walter Nolan defensively. There's some big good defensive talent in the in the 10s and the 20s that the Bengals will get a star on their hands. That frankly, if they pass up on and just say, we'll take a Matthew Golden to pair with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and just have Joe Burrow throw on his back leg, you might as well start the Andrew Luck retirement tour.
I said we weren't going to talk about. I said we weren't going to talk about them because I get it.
I'm just giving you a realistic situation. It's like you have.
We love you. We love you.
There's a lot of good defensive players in the middle of this draft, first round draft, to be excited for if you're a Bengals fan. That frankly, that you can be happy for.
I'm having flashbacks to downing a bottle of Jack Fire after we drafted Billy Price in the first round.
Billy who? Billy.
It's just not good. For the Broncos, what are you thinking? Sean Payton, George Payton, and this new ownership group? How are they? Because now I believe this is the year that the Russ money is no longer really a factor, or if I'm not mistaken. So now
I think it's next year. This might be the last one if I remember.
How are we moving forward out of that abyss?
I mean, it's a offensive weapon. I think there's zero I will throw a caveat. I take that back. I think it is defensive line or offensive weapon. Because if your offensive weapon that you are so high on isn't there, you go defensive line. And look, if your Marion Hamptons or your Travion Hendersons or your Matthew Goldens don't fall to you for whatever reason, you'll have a chance at Walter Nolan. You'll have a chance at some of these great defense. A Kenneth Grant from Michigan. That could be a huge step forward when you have 3 of your defensive tackles contracts ending after this season. So it could be a great depth piece, and you could still get a running back in round 2, a Caleb Johnson or a Scatterby or whoever. So I think the reports are saying that the Broncos are not going to draft a receiver, but if Hampton isn't there, if obviously Genty's not there, if Warren's not there, if Loveland's not there, I would not be surprised in the slightest with a defensive lineman pick. Is what I'm saying. Is it would not be because the depth that at running back is there. Obviously, you might have to trade up to go get Travion Henderson in the second round, but that's a second round problem to get there because he may fly off the board in the second round. But like everyone's mocking a Marion Hampton to us, and I think that I'm a little worried, but at the same time a little excited for it because, like I said, first round running backs, you do get that 4 years with a 5th option. So it'll be big. And obviously Javonte Williams, the last UNC running back, didn't work out too well. People forget before Javonte got injured, he was still very exciting, run people over. And what I've seen from Marion Hampton is a guy who can pass catch, who can run downhill pretty hard. The one problem he has is obviously pass blocking, but you have Estime for a reason. So like you have bigger backs to do that for a reason. So I don't know. I have flown around. I don't think I want Loveland. Obviously, with Ingram now, I think you can get a tight end in the back half, Parker Helm, Elijah Arroyo, if you want it to be a backup. I don't think you draft a backup tight end position unless it's Tyler Warren, which I don't think it will drop to us. So I'm looking at running back. I'm looking at Matthew Golden. Apparently, the Broncos are big on Golden. If he falls, if McMillan falls for whatever reason, they could be big on him. If I were to put my money somewhere, I would take a guess that it's going to be a Marion Hampton or it'd be Matthew Golden, with the chance of being Walter Nolan if he's there. That's where my thoughts are.
Daren, for you, does it worry you that Sean Payton has a pretty good track record of finding talent and being able to develop guys in the draft? Is that worrisome knowing that he's the coach and he's the one making the evaluations and it's not Nathaniel Hackett and it's not Vance Joseph or somebody like that that's going to take a swing and a miss?
As a team that hasn't won a playoff game since 2003, yes, there's concerns. We got Pete Carroll. Obviously he has the one thing that maybe he'll help us bring is a defensive identity that we have not had. I'm telling you, I just continue to just stress out that like there has never been a defensive identity with this team in 2 decades that maybe he'll be able to bring. But we got Harbaugh, we got Peyton, we got Reed. It might be the best, and we got Carroll. I would say this is the best division of coaches in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, easily.
So I mean, like, of course, I'm concerned with Peyton. He's proven over the years. He did that in year 2 where he got you guys to the playoffs with a rookie quarterback. So, I'm definitely concerned that the Broncos, the franchise that I can always respectfully say I hate the most, and people always go Denver. I go, yes, Denver. I hate them. I do not like Denver, and like you have to be around a long time to not like Denver and John Elway, all that. So I do not like Denver for that reason, but I definitely am concerned with Peyton under the helm, and we saw with Reed. I mean, there's no reason that Peyton couldn't dominate this division just as easily over a decade if they make good decisions and get the quarterback that they think next is.
That Denver hate's making you start to sound like you're from Detroit. I don't know if you know that, Daren, but that's instead of NorCal, you're starting to sound like a guy from Detroit. For this draft being in Green Bay, my last question for the event? You guys like the rotating venue format, or are you a stickler for tradition, kind of like me, where you're like Radio City, knowing that the draft was going to be there? It was kind of nice to know where the event was taking place every year. What do you guys feel about the venue changes and the fact that we're going to Green Bay in April?
I'm with you, Jimmy. I like the original, just Radio City Hall. Let me know where I'm at. But I know why they're doing it. I get all of it. It's going to end up in every city eventually, but I don't know. I like it. I'm with you. I like it in Radio City Hall.
I understand that it's like a fun event to go to and it's cool, but like, let's not sugarcoat this. This is fun for one fucking day.
It is 3 days.
Like the drop off in attendance from fucking obviously the first round to 3 rounds on Saturday or Friday, 3 rounds on Saturday, another 2 on Sunday or whatever for a fucking 4-day draft event. Like, I'm sorry, but like, who the fuck cares? It's cool to have it in cities and be able to show off a fan base and show off people traveling to a new city and bring profit into the city for these cities that people don't go to because they don't go to because look, Super Bowl will never be in Green Bay unless they get a dome, right? Super Bowl probably won't be in a lot of these cities because they're outdoor stadiums because the way it goes. So might as well give them a fucking shot at it. The pageantry of the draft, in my opinion, has just fucking gone out the window.
It's insane.
It's gone out the fucking window because apparently because more guys and like I don't blame them. I honestly probably would have done the same. It's like more guys these days are at home with their families and around their loved ones as opposed to arriving in the draft because what? You fly in day before, you go in across the stage, and then you fly out the next day to the city. They're like, why the fuck did I like even if it's in New York, you're there for what, 24 hours? And you're gone?
Fair
it's
enough.
like I might as well like if I'm going to give love to these other cities and give them the showmanship of seeing what the city's like and what the fan base is like, might as well. Because like I said, at some point, hearing the people care about the Jets every single fucking week and the Giants when the two franchises suck, I could care less about them hyping up the Jets and Giants draft picks every year and the fans hyping up as opposed to them booing the Bears when they draft or booing the whoever. I remember when I think it was Akers. Was it Akers that did it? Or when he was a Philly, when they had the draft in Dallas?
Yeah.
And he got booed the shit out of him. And it was a fun little moment. It's like that's the stuff you get when you travel it. As opposed to New York, we're like, well, I guess they're gonna be sad or excited about the New York draft pick or see what's gonna happen. It's like when the Jets suck and the Giants suck, they don't fucking deserve to have this high praise and show their fans and everything. Give it to these other cities and give them a chance.
Yeah, and you're kind of talking me into we don't need to have the draft on TV, and I know that that's sacrilege to.
It's not even all on TV. Like they've stopped doing coverage for all the draft picks. There is not one TV station, NFL Network, ESPN, or YouTube, or whatever, that shows the announcement of every single draft pick. There isn't. It's physically not out there. You have to go to team social media pages to watch the certain draft pick get called.
Yeah, other than the first 4 hours, and I'm so glad that we're not doing some kind of live draft show this year because that's just a long night of content. Good on those guys, Mel Kiper. It's the one day of the year for Mel Kiper to shine, boys. So
Mel Kiper works 3 months out of the year. It's between the Super Bowl and the draft, and that's it. And then he goes on a vacation for 9 months and then has fun with his family.
Yeah, he eats copious amounts of pumpkin pie.
They just watch football on the sideline, and that's how he figures out draft prospects. Watch football for 9 months. Works
not
for
a bad
3 months.
life.
I don't know about you. That sounds like pretty good to me.
Not a bad life. Daren, we appreciate you coming on. Before we let you get out of here, I am going to be a guest on your show. I'm going to be your WrestleMania correspondent. Let everybody know where they can find your show and where we're going to be talking this weekend.
Yeah, at Fatboy Fadeaway. You can find us on X over there, YouTube. We're up to 185. Maybe gets to 200. We'd appreciate anything there. We've been at it for a while. Me and Tyler always joke about that. So we always have some fun with the number there with it. I appreciate you joining us Sunday. We'll have you on. I want to get some thoughts on you with just some hockey stuff. My boy Logan Couture retired, the great shark there. So we'll see if he did retire there. So kind of let you get your thoughts on the playoffs there with NHL. We don't talk about that very much on there. And then yes, WrestleMania. My brother and Brian are big fans, so I look forward to that conversation.
I want you to know, Daren. Obviously, like if you're listening to this part of the episode, we already talked about my experience.
Yeah.
Like I want you to know So last year when I went to Philly, I was mentioning it last year too. I got an Eagles jersey with the WrestleMania on. Didn't say Eagles on it, but it was a big WrestleMania logo in the Kelly green jersey. I thought it was sick. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to go to Vegas and get a jersey again. Well, I walk into the Superstore, and guess what's the only jersey that they have left? and my mom, who was with me, and bless her heart, she was like, "Why don't you just get the red?" I was like, "Mom, that's never going to be enough."
That would definitely be me with the Broncos.
I was like, that's never in my grandest life will I ever wear something that relatively looks like a Raiders jersey.
I wasn't able to have silver and black stuff in my house.
That was not even a question. She was like, "Well, that's the only jersey." I was like, "I'm rather not get one." I was like, so there was Aces stuff, which they were sold out of. Because I thought the Aces Las Vegas jersey with WrestleMania jersey was sick. Didn't have any left, so I didn't. Obviously, wasn't the other one was the Vegas Golden Knights. And obviously, it was cooler than the other two, but I couldn't also get myself to that point. Obviously, not as far with the Raiders.
I would have had a very big issue with that.
I couldn't have gone that far. But I saw the Raiders jersey, and I was like, my mom was trying to talk me into it. I was like, "You're not going to talk."
Come on, Nico.
You're not. There's no world that I walking around with a silver and black 41 WrestleMania shirt on. I don't care if it's a WWE shirt. I will not be able to live with myself.
That would have turned.
It is not in any world ever going to happen.
That's so funny. That's how I am with Niners and Broncos stuff and Chiefs at this point. Yeah, same idea. I'm not buying any of that with it, but that's so funny. I would have been the same way, man, the other way around. But yeah, no, Jimmy, look forward to having you on Sunday with it there. I know I talked to you about some changes on Talk with Grant. It's just with my family, it's really tough with that to keep up on the Sunday nights, but that doesn't mean I don't appreciate you guys. And like I said, you guys are part of my inspiration in doing the podcast and stuff like that to get it started with at the beginning. So always appreciate you guys letting me come on, and I look forward to having you on Sunday so we can maybe we'll have the post game of the NFL draft after day 7 or whatever it is, we'll have. So we'll do that.
It's been 45 years since the 2025 draft has started, and I think we finally know everybody that's playing.
SpongeBob meme pops up at the hours.
Exactly. I know Brian will like seeing you too, so I look forward to having you on Sunday here. And we'll talk, at least get your thoughts on the Bengals pick, right? We got to do that.
If we have to. No, I think that's a good spot to leave this. Obviously, you'll see a lot more Nico and I earlier on in the show, but we wanted to get Daren on, talk a little bit more basketball. And obviously, yes, we do have that relationship. We've been working together for quite a long time now through VSN and variety of other means. So appreciate him. Make sure you check out their show, subscribe, follow us at FEOTB Pod, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're growing. We're working hard, just like Daren and Brian and Tyler out there in NorCal. It's all a collective grind, so please make sure that you tune in, continue to tell your friends, and keep checking out the episodes. For myself, Jimmy Pilato, Nico Bryant of at FEOTB Pod, and our special guest, Daren Briare of the Fat Boy Fadeaway Sports Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next week.
Peace.
If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.